It's me, big hair lady. Well, no, I'm not really big haired lady. Wipe socket isn't running or invalid. Socket. My settings aren't there. There we go. Hooray! Up here. Oh, we take the puppy off. Goodbye, puppy. Okay. And then here. Hello, Hangry. Congratulations on your first. Thank you for being here. So, well, for you, it's not early. So late. Thank you for being here. Well, it's not really late. Thank you for being here in the evening. After all the news has already happened. Why is this not being... Oh, I think I turned it off. That's okay. It's here now. It's here now. There we go. Just about to sit down for dinner. I hope it's a delicious dinner. Now you made me hungry. Sadly, I can't go make breakfast because I'm doing a podcast. Yeah, do my own daily acorn. Thank you, cows, for your Pokeball acorn. And Hangry for your communist acorn. So comfortable. Ugh, scary. I love tempeh. Tempeh's so good. And I got an almond acorn. I didn't even get an acorn. Open that. Open the bingo. Ooh, get some coffee. That's hot. That's boiling. It's fucking boiling. Okay, started the bingo game. Bingo bongo has been activated. All right, I need to put on some smelly stuff. Gotta put on the hoe wood. My jasmine hoe wood. Oh, upside down. Where is the stream together though? There it is. Invite myself. Come on. There we go. And then I can open my news stories. Who knew? And then in 30 minutes, I check my washing in the laundry because today is laundry day. Yeah, for laundry day. Gotta clean that underwear. How's your morning been? Well, I just woke up, so it hasn't really existed yet. I woke up. I had an interesting dream, and then I scrolled through threads. I only look at social media at the beginning and the end of the day, so I scrolled through my threads. There's nothing to report other than the obvious stuff, but I just scroll in there to see if there's anything I'm missing in the news. And then I went to the bathroom, did all my everything, combed my hair, and then I made coffee, and now I'm here. That's all I've done. Called my dad on the phone. The Witcher 3 is giving out, is making a new remaster. That's coming out at the end of September, so like in a month from now. And if you already own The Witcher 3, you get it for free. Isn't that fun? People are acting like it's never happened before, but as far as I remember, they did that for Skyrim. When they made Skyrim Special Edition, you got Skyrim. If you already had Skyrim, you got it for free. So, that's not a new thing, but I think it still should be celebrated, because sadly, it's not assumed that companies will do that. So, it's nice. It's nice. I'm happy. Maybe I'll play Witcher on my stream. Though, at the end of September. Though I need to ask Ness about playing Valheim this September. Because he was like, I'm thinking in September I want to play like Valheim, do like a whole beginning to end run through, because the game is like 1.0 now, right? It's not going to be updated anymore. It's the end of the game. The game will not have any more content added, so just kind of want to experience the whole thing that is Valheim from beginning to end. Yeah, I think the end of the day is probably bad, but it's better than you know, checking it all day. I'm really bad. That's why I'm really bad at social media, because I don't sit here and go, oh, a notification, oh, a notification. I just like forget my phone exists for the whole day. I only know it exists because I use it for yoga, and that's about it. I put it up there, and then I use it to lurk while I'm playing Expedition 33, and that's about, yeah. My screen time. Let's look up my screen time. It's probably not that good, because I recently installed Genshin Impact on my phone, but that was only yesterday. What is that under? My phone's in Dutch, so I need to think of what the word for screen time would be, or where that is even under. There used to be a thing called like health, and then you could go to that, and then it would say, this is your health on using your phone. $7 hours? No, this is just one. That's like, how that's an average. How is that possible? Oh no. Well, I mean, I guess if you watch Twitch on your phone, right? Because I'm sure mine would be that high too, because I've been watching Twitch on my phone since I can't have my browser open while I played Expedition 33. I don't know what it's under. Digital Laven style. That's what it's called. Digital Laven. Digital living. Where is that under? Else? No, this is like if I have one of those smartwatches and then I run around and it says, hey, you did stuff. You ran around and things. I'm like, yeah, I sure did. You blame cows for using your screen time? Omlin got the rare random acorn. Congratulations, Omlin. I hope you're doing well. Omlin got... I don't know why it does that sometime, where it just doesn't... It doesn't roll anything. the rare no random acorn. Oh, I don't know where to find this setting. Screen time. Dual Scream Tide. Okay, here we go. I found it. According to this, my average is 3 hours and 49 minutes. I average 1 hour 26 on Threads, 1 hour and 16 on Firefox, which is usually me watching anime on my phone. I just open my browser and watch anime. And then 39 minutes on Twitch. So that's my average. I don't know if this is weekly. Oh no, this is just from today. because I was watching, I was watching Twitch on my phone after 12 a.m. So that counts as today. Okay. Is there like an average thing where it like averages out the time? Oh, here we go. Week report. Okay. So mine's worse than yours. Mine's 9 hours and 36 minutes of the screen being on. I spent 45 hours on Twitch, YouTube, and streaming on my phone because I do my yoga streams on my phone on Friday. And then 3 hours, I don't know what that means. I guess my most active time is at 3 p.m. Then, yeah, that's because that's when I'm doing the stream on Friday. I've used Twitch 24 hours this week, YouTube 18 hours, and then DroidCam 11. Because I always forget to close DroidCam. And then my battery dies, and I'm like, why is my phone dead? Oh, I forgot to turn off DroidCam. It was running in the background the whole time. So I'm not any better than you, Angry. But technically, I only scroll through my phone on the mornings and evenings. That's where all the YouTube... I do shorts in the evening when I should do the opposite. I should do shorts in the morning. But then I would completely lose track of time. I think in the evening, if I lose track of time, that's not a bad thing. I just go to sleep late. But if I lose track of time in the morning, I'll be late to calling my dad and late to the podcast. So I think it's probably why I do it that way. Well, you probably have a job, Hangry. So at least feel good about that. You make me choke on my coffee. Alright. I'm not really better than you. We're probably even. You have a job, I have less screen time. You know, it's like the same thing. My car woke me up. Oh, sorry, your cat woke you up early, and I thought I would pop in and say hello before I try to go back to sleep until it's time to get up for work. Sounds good, Omlin. Thanks for stopping by. You'll probably be back when we're actually doing the news. Alright. Let me put my headphones on. Now that my big hair has settled down. I also need to actually join the stream together, which I did not do that. Oh my god. Why did I even ask that? What a weird question to ask. Were they thinking you were gonna like run away to Australia? I'm not sure if I would do that. I guess it's been a long time since I've gone through a border control because I've lived in Europe so long and I've only gone to EU countries, so I'd never had to answer questions, right? They open borders and all that. Oh yeah, I met him on the internet. Oh, like on a video game? Yeah, I met him on Marvel Rivals. I feel like I might have said that when I first came to the Netherlands. I'm like, oh, who are you visiting? I'm visiting somebody who lives really close to the, Oh, that's what it was. I think when I came back from London, like, my dad, Robert, and me went on a holiday to Scotland. And when we came back, they were like, oh, where do you live or something? And I was like, we live, like, in a village right down there. Like, you can come for dinner if you want. And he was like, yeah, maybe I will come for dinner. That's why I invited the border control guy for dinner. I live very close to the airport. At least for an American, it's very close. But, yeah, that's pretty good. But I've never, yeah, nobody's ever asked me, like, about employment or anything. Do you have a job? The person you're visiting have a job? I've never been asked that. That's interesting. No, they're unemployed. They're just a gym rat. Their job is going to the gym. Lifting weights.
Uh,
Imagine if they asked you that at the border. I don't think you're shorter than me, Hangry, so no worries here. Alright. No worries for me. I only know one person who's the same height as me and is a man. And they are half Suriname, half Indonesian, so they just got unlucky. They just got unlucky with the genes there. Nah, they're probably partially. They're like, I want to say like a quarter Dutch, a quarter Indonesian, a quarter Suriname, something like that. I don't know what the last quarter is. Everything else possible. His mom's a little small woman, so I think his mom is smaller than me. Funnily enough, Robert is half, well, I would say also a quarter Indonesian. His dad was full Indonesian, but technically also partially German. So maybe not as Indonesian, but his dad was shorter than me. But unfortunately, I never met Robert's dad. So yet again, I've never met a man shorter than me. But Robert is not. Robert is only short probably because of his dad, and by short I mean only 6 foot instead of, you know, 6'7" like most Dutch people are. Because his mom is 5'10" or something. So he could have. The only reason he's tall is because his grandfather's on his mom's side is tall, because he was Norwegian, I think, a tall Norwegian guy. But his dad was not helping. His dad took him down to a lower height. Which is why he played center in basketball, I think. What's the weird and wacky news today? I wish there was a filter for wacky news or weird news. But there's only a filter for offbeat news. Well, actually, first let's just scroll through the general news. Sometimes the general news is weird. We had that one story about the cocaine, which I might have just closed by accident. Oh no, here it is. The cocaine story. Here you go. Where did the cocaine happen? In A Porpa del Carminal, A Coruna, Spain? Ooh, the Balkan cartel is selling cocaine. This El Pais is he's gonna make me pay to read the article. Cae un clan de lancheros galegos tras alillar. I don't know the word for thousand in Spanish. 1,000 in Spanish. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna be like, no, I knew that. I'm gonna feel so dumb. List of Spanish numbers on SpanishNumbers.net. Oh my goodness. Spanish numbers not .net isn't. Okay, now it's loading. All the way to 1,000, please. Keep scrolling. Mil. Oh. See? That's obvious. Uno mil. Uno mil. Where was I? Alright, wait. Cae un clan de lancheros galegos tras aliar 1,000 cuatro. Oh, I don't know, 100. We can look it up on our list of numbers in Spanish. 410. Yeah. ¿Cuántos dentro? 1,410 kilos de coca para el cartel de los Palazanes. And then there's a guy in handcuffs. And I am allowed to read this article for free. Thanks, El Pais. Spanish math? Okay, give me an equation. Just kidding, I can't do math in English. Uh, uh, shingles vaccine linked to 24% lower dementia risks. Swift to vote on whether to tighten neutrality and end peacetime cooperation with NATO.
Or could it just be that the people that decide to get the shingles vaccination are of sound mind and they're not going to get demented?
Maybe.
That vaccination,
sure...
that vaccination is given to you. It's given to you when you're 50. They don't give it to you when you're a kid.
Yeah, but I'm sure they did an actual study to actually equate that.
I'm sure there's an actual study. I said, yeah, they'd always did allow for that. You're 50,
you could have said something
right?
like
You're
1 + 1 hangry.
You're 50 and you're like, oh my God, I'm 50. I better get the shingles vaccine. But again, if you're 50, half of you are like, I don't give a shit. And why don't you give a shit? Because you're going senile. I don't know.
You're going senile.
Anyway. Well, you lose your... Who knows when people start losing their shit?
Oh, great. A drug lab in Apeldoorn. That's over there on the east coast of the Netherlands. The east coast, the east side. There's no water over there. I guess we're talking about drugs today. Man arrested at Seville airport for carrying cocaine capsules inside his body.
Well, I'm not talking about drugs.
Oh, well, I say me, I guess. I guess I'm talking about drugs today.
You're talking about drugs. So, you got a story about scientists check owls' nests and turkeys and found live snakes inside 44% of them. What the hell? Well, there's a reason. Well, there's a reason.
Wow, why would I ever go anywhere when I can just nest inside an owl nest and they keep me warm and they feed me?
And they eat your young. Scienceblog.com, the University of Toronto. Did a long headline again, AI headline. It's 700 words long. But the gist of it is, trying to monitor your happiness defeats the process of being happy. If you're thinking about being happy, you're never going to be happy. You're just always going to be thinking about being happy. Mm-hmm. Man, am I happy right now? Am I happy enough? What the fuck is happy anyway?
Smiling and laughing.
Relative to what? No, it's kind of real.
Not being able to smile and laugh.
You're making yourself laugh. That's good.
I'm always making myself laugh because I'm very happy.
There you go. Very important. Very important. I guess that's part of the study. I don't know. Here's one. In life imitating python, an octopus was filmed carrying 2 halves of a coconut shell across the seafloor.
Oh, we got wacky animals today. Nice, because I can't find any
to
wacky
resemble them
stories.
later as a suit of armor. In the meanwhile, he's making horse clopping sounds. Horse galloping.
Monty Python reference. This early?
And a 7-year-old boy left behind on Mount Fuji by his dad. Yeah, that's the ticket. My dad left me here.
What did you say, 7-year-old? I don't know if what I do. I panicked in the store when I lost Mom in the grocery store at 6. I don't know how you could... I'm on a mountain as a 7-year-old. Yeah.
The story of Joe Dirt. That's his origin story. Parents left him at the rest area, Flagstaff, Arizona, or someplace.
I'm seriously talking about drugs all day. My other story is tons of pharmaceutical waste ends up in the ocean every year. More drug news. I'm the drug correspondent today.
Waste.
Give me a funny pun name for being the drug correspondent.
Pharmaceutical waste is an unfortunate pun because all them animals are getting wasted and all the drugs.
Hey. Animal abuse joke.
They're all wasted.
That would actually be terrifying. Yeah, just a little bit.
Sea life wasteland.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about
Sea life
that
wasteland.
salmonella and eggs in France.
Sea life wasteland.
Don't get your eggs
Oh
in
yeah,
France.
it's on the sea life wasteland. They're all wasted. Bip, bip, bip. And then a long, awesome violin solo. Yeah.
I've never thought of a violin solo as awesome, but I'm just a wind.
Bob O'Reilly
wind, so
is Bob O'Reilly. That guy. I'm surprised he didn't break his strings.
maybe you did. There's
Now
multiple
I gotta
takes
look
and they
him up.
spliced it all together.
No, they knew that in those days. You had to play consecutive.
Those
You couldn't do that. Let me pick up that note you were playing when you broke the string and re-splice it. Okay, no, nobody's gonna do that.
They did do that kind of
You
stuff,
play it-
though.
No, they didn't. That was George Martin and his Alan Parsons.
Damn you, George
doing that
Martin!
shit. And Alan Parsons sitting around because they had no lives. They could spend 18 hours in a friggin' recording studio. What if we just tempered this and put this on top of this? Okay, fuck it. Who gives a shit? Pass the joint. No, Pete Townsend was not that guy.
30, 40, 50, 60. Oh yeah, that always tricked me up. 60 and 70 in Spanish. It's 60 for for 6. It's and setenta for for 70. All right, let's. Appledorn has a drug lab. Okay, it's a short story, so I guess we'll just
Guy's name is Dave Arbus.
drug lab.
There you go. Guy played violin on that song. His name Dave Arbus. He played piano. Probably Nicky Hopkins.
Okay, there's no real story for this. But we'll just skip that one then. Caught on birth control pills and worms and antidepressants. Ton of medicine end up in the ocean every year. Think tank warns. Which think tank? And why are they thinking so hard? Oh, this music makes me want to go for a run. Torsk papier och orme på antidepressiv. What is Denmark? Tonsvis av medicin. Ender I have it huvud är advarar. I can think. And my Nordic languages need work. In general. Caught on birth control. Okay, this is a long story. Great. We can do that one with the salmonella, because that's like food-based, I guess. And then we can do the drug lab and the cocaine story together. And then I mean, to be honest, me either, because if I run, I instantly have an asthma attack. So nothing could make me run. If I'm like gonna have to run to save my life, I'll probably just get caught and die. Because I'll die anyways. I'll die from the asthma attack before I even get close to escaping whatever I'm running from. Did I just close the Guardian? No, I didn't. All right. What's in
don't carry bear spray, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't been
asthma
anywhere with bears.
Don't run from a bear because bear spray won't help you either because you'll probably die from the asthma attack. I don't know.
The Bavarian finger wrestling contest.
These people spraying bear spray on other people, that shit has got to fucking stop. I am so sick of this fucking.
A new guard page for the stack cannot be created. I don't know what that means, but thank you for telling me. I don't know why you're telling me that, but thank you. Can I get this Bavarian finger wrestling story? And then I have my culture news. Bavarian finger wrestling.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war.
Oh, it's way worse than that. You put like a. I don't know. You both get like an exercise. What is that called?
Oh, really?
You put your middle finger. Both of you put middle finger in like one of those clips, and then you pull. It's like a exercise for your middle finger, and then whoever I guess, it's like a.
The middle finger.
I can't think of any words right now. You know when you do the rope pull thing where you pull a rope but with your fingers? It's like that. So whoever's flag goes across the line loses.
That's not wrestling, man. That's a race.
No. The
totally different concept.
I'm pretty sure using your finger strength.
Yeah, but wrestling.
Anyways,
would be,
I'm not here to define finger wrestling. I'm just reading the headline.
Sounds like they're strengthening their middle finger for some sexual activity to me. I don't think that anyway.
I don't think you need a lot of strength for that.
I don't know. People are weird.
That's all in the wrist, anyways. You can't actually have.
Okay, let's not get down
you
that
can't have fingers.
corridor.
No, I'm just saying in general, you can't have finger strength. Finger strength isn't real. Grip strength is all in the wrists and the forearms and stuff. You know?
Yeah,
finger
you're
strength
right.
doesn't exist.
Yeah,
there's no muscles in your hands.
There's no muscles between your knuckles.
It's just tendons,
Well, there
which
is
you can,
muscles.
I guess, rip off.
There's muscles. There's soft pad muscles, though. They're like little, things that hurt and have sensitivity and shit.
I don't want to read the Telegraph, but it's the only article I can find about this Bavarian finger wrestling that isn't a video. Oh, maybe UPI.
Which all
UPI
muscles, technically.
I like UPI more than I like Telegraph. It depends if they're gonna give me an article.
Times of India has articles that sometimes they give you a reading pain, and sometimes they're like, "No, we're not giving you a reading pain."
No.
So I
How
decided
dare you want to read this?
the way to do that is to print select the print icon, and it gives you a big old print pane, and then there's a reading pane on that.
Look at you.
There's a reading. Yeah. Wow, I just accidentally discovered that. Well, you know what? Here's what I'll do is I'll pretend I'm printing it. Maybe it'll show me a display of the printing thing, and I'll read that. But then when I clicked on the print, it said, "Hey, there's another pane." And up on the right, it's got the reading pane thing. So yeah, that's the owl's nest story. The trying to make yourself happy really doesn't work. It's counterproductive. They could have made it.
Yeah, I find as somebody who's pretty. I don't want to say I don't care.
We'll do.
Being calm is the best way to be happy.
I think being calm is the
peace.
closest thing. Serenity is the closest thing to happiness I'll ever achieve. I will never achieve happiness. Here's my problem with happiness. I was really, really happy a couple of months ago. Why was I really happy? I was really happy for my child who bought her first house, right? I was really, really happy. I immediately checked myself and said, I'm going to start crying because there's no way this is going to last. Any happiness I ever had.
Oh, that's so sad.
Lasts approximately 30 seconds, and I start crying. It's like I can never be happy because there's no point in it because something's going to fuck it up. Always, it always happens. And sure
that's
enough,
so sad to have that point of view, but I feel that way sometimes too. I go, wow, so a
level
lot of good things are happening for me now. When's the bad thing happening? Yeah, that's what I always do. I do that as well. When's the bad thing happening?
This is why you cry when good things happen, because you know it ain't gonna last.
You've made me cry just now. Anyways, crying is not on the bingo card. It's on my bingo card.
You cry when somebody dies. Why do you cry? You don't cry for them. You cry because you're not going to see them again. That's it. That's the only reason you cry.
I haven't experienced that yet.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I experienced that with the cat. I cried when the cat died.
Well, you've experienced with other pets, right?
Yeah, that's true. What was I going to say though?
Don't be cold and distant to
I'm
your
not
pets.
cold.
Oh.
I'm not cold or distant. I
I'm
just
joking. It's a joke, man.
for me,
Calm down.
death is the one guaranteed thing that's always gonna happen. So
No.
I
And
should
taxes.
always be prepared. Death and taxes. Well, I don't make enough money to pay taxes, so.
Oh, bullshit.
For me, maybe not.
Ever heard of sales tax? Bullshit. Sales tax.
Yeah, I guess
your
that is
pay
automatically
taxes, those
applied. Yeah. You don't notice it as
forget
much here
tariffs.
because you don't get it on your receipt.
Don't forget tariffs. Every time you imported something in your country,
Well, I'm
probably
not
slapped
importing
tariff
anything.
on. You don't know. You don't import things. You buy things that
Yeah.
are imported, whether you like it or not.
I don't know if that's true or not because a lot of European companies or a lot of American companies just have European distribution.
Give me give me one thing. Okay, look. You buy things that are imported, whether you like it or not. You just don't know they're imported unless you
I
do
really
the
want to read
research.
about
Oh yeah,
this
the people that
arm
assembled
this finger
assembled it
wrestling
in
thing.
North Africa, but it's not on the label. You know, they're not gonna tell you they assembled it in North Africa. They're just gonna ship it to you and go, this was made in France or something, and lie about it.
I can't find this story. That's too bad. Bavarian
Where's my
finger
good pen?
wrestling. I usually think something bad's gonna happen if I have too much deja vu. For me, it's like a precursor to a bad event. But that just might be me psyching myself out.
You're clairvoyant. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a little bit clairvoyant. My mom was clairvoyant.
Yeah, but it might be me causing the bad thing because I think it's gonna happen, right? Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Man. Yeah, but it's weird. Sometimes I'll see something and I won't say a damn thing, and then something will happen. I say, "Hey, I thought about that just like 2 or 3 hours ago, and it happened. Is that a coincidence? Did I see it happen? Did I hear it something?" Nobody will believe that I saw it happen. Who are you gonna tell? Oh yeah, you know it. You think it happened because you saw it. No, it happened, and you're just making it up. Well, yeah. Well, you're not gonna believe me. Of course you're not. Why? I wouldn't believe me either.
And that's why prophets never get it. No one ever
And
believes
I will
them.
never. And it never works for gambling, so I don't believe it myself. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, okay, well, it doesn't really work.
I should bet on that. And then the next day, oh man, of course if I betted for it, I would have lost.
And you know how
So
gamblers work. The gambler's mind works. Oh
paw.
yeah, that was a sign, but it was the opposite sign. So next time I'll bet the other way. And then they rationalize losing the next time. Addicts are great rationalizers. It's their full-time job. It has to do with happiness. All right. Happiness is my
really
headline.
slow right now.
That's all my headlines are going to be happiness is today. As soon as I find a pen that
Let me
writes.
restart it. I don't know why it's not
Yeah.
loading any pages.
I haven't started my camera because I have to take the green screen down again. I go get to work coffee. I bought a can of coffee yesterday with Travels. So I'm not on a coffee anymore.
Hooray!
Life can continue unabated.
Coffee continues.
Or slightly abated. Have you ever been abated in your life? Not me. I've been unabated, but never abated. I'm writing in red ink today because it's when it works.
It didn't even close my pages, did it? I have no idea. Yeah, it didn't even close my pages. I pressed close the browser and it didn't even close it.
Happiness is
A warm gun.
a pen that writes. A pen that writes is happiness. Let's see. What is the magic function? The purple pen. Purple pen writes better, but it'll probably quit too.
What is going on with my Firefox? Okay, I'm gonna rage quit. I have to actually close it completely. It's not even closing when I press the close button. So why is this not always on, always on top? Always on top. you. Alright, Firefox, with your 104 windows, time to die. Maybe that's why it's being slow. Right, let me close my Spanish numbers window. Yeah, there's something really weird, like if I have Twitch open and I'm watching Twitch, my entire browser just slows down.
Guess I could do that story tomorrow, but Twitch using our show for their AI training. Oh, okay.
Actually, maybe I can talk about that for Weird and Wacky Wednesday, because it is weird to do that without permission, to train an AI model without asking. It's definitely against EU regulations, to say the least. And it's not like only Americans use Twitch. Now I have to re-invite myself to the stream together again. Access denied. This is my channel. Excuse you. I don't have permission to view my own page.
We are going
I think we can
to...
just close this.
Which one of these stories can I do? We'll do that one.
Maybe I'll just close this for now because something is making my
9 to 12.
computer very sad. Save and close group for now.
I'm gonna cut the one story. I'll do it tomorrow.
I can only watch this stream at max.
All right, we're gonna cut that story. We're gonna talk about
Start viewer call-ins.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, right. That's so scary.
I know. I think a lot of these shows, and again, I don't accuse anybody in particular of this, but I think a lot of these are just absolute fucking scams. I have a call-in show, and I'll have my buddy call in and pretend to be some cranky asshole that won't change his opinion, and then I got everybody who watches get rage. Rage. That guy's terrible. And you get 7 million views of your phony phone call with your friend when it's complete horseshit.
Yeah, that is the problem. A lot of people are very cynical about, like, this is just staged. This isn't real. This is staged.
Yeah, exactly. What? And again,
it's even worse because now you just go, this is AI. This didn't even happen.
Well, what did you really accomplish with that video? You just said, well, I'm really stupid. I'm really stupid, but this guy's even stupider than me. Okay. Yeah, you're both stupid. One guy's stupider than you. Because again, smart people are not going to be internet telling everybody that everybody else is stupid except you and me. We're the special people. Yeah, God, shut up.
I can't even load it. Something really weird is going on with my browser. I can't even open a new tab. There you go.
My internet seemed to got better overnight for some reason. Yesterday wasn't really shit.
I don't think this is my internet. I think this is the browser being messed up.
I don't know what it is. I think it's intentional. To tell you the truth,
the connection isn't secure. Your data you're sending to the site isn't encrypted. It could be viewed, stolen, or altered.
From Monday, August 26, 2002, Onion headline: Local welder suffering from welder's block. Yes, I had that in time. I just can't.
Welder's block.
Making fun of welders.
I'm having internet block right now. What the hell's going on?
This day, they were making fun of the JFK Jr. dying in a plane crash.
Forbes did a story on the Twitch thing.
Barbs.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk about the owner, and we brought this up the other day. Why is the owner of the 49ers trolling for prostitutes in Ohio? That's an odd thing to be doing for somebody with millions and millions, perhaps billions of dollars. It wasn't trolling trailer parks. That's just where he arranged to meet the...
This is an old story, but it's a...
He picked up an undercover cop. It wasn't a prostitute. Education program. But they've already cleared the Giants owner in this article. That's crazy.
The Giants owner?
Yeah, he was on the Epstein list.
Oh.
And he turned over the control of the New York Giants to his family, which is the punishment for rich people. He was punished. He had to give over control of the team he still owns to his family. Okay, whatever. That's not a punishment.
Yeah. Yeah, what about...
2 years he'll be...
Yeah.
It's like when the Redskins owner had to give over control of it to his wife. He still made the decisions. It ain't like, you know, it's stupid. It's not a punishment.
Dude, what the hell is happening with my browser? I'm actually gonna uninstall my extensions because it must be an extension that's making my computer not work. Extensions. I'm just gonna turn them all off. Because what the hell is going on?
So we're going to talk about the inequality of sex work. We're going to talk the 7-year-old boy left behind in Japan. Octopus imitating python. And the owl thingy with the snakes.
I can't even close tabs. That's how bad this is. What the hell?
Yeah, we got a story about python and we got a story about snakes. Isn't it interesting?
Just a typical Wacky and Weird Wednesday, really.
Pythons or snakes. I know a 7-year-old boy in Mount Fuji and there's snakes up there, probably. And there's probably snakes in the trailer park. I know an undercover cop is a snake. An undercover cop is a snake in the grass. That's a metaphor for a snake in the grass. Metaphor pun. All right, I'll be right back with some more coffee.
All right, then I'm gonna go check out my laundry.
No, I'll throw up my green screen. My screen green. Since it's 6:30 now.
Another laundried. And my Firefox is still exploding. Just wanted to look for this in all the countries. Yeah, all the regions. There's news about this. Sure. Let me read everything. Just... Okay. Translate to English. All my stories are in different languages today. We've got Danish, French, Spanish, and Dutch. We love sources from in other languages. Okay. No news. BBC has news. Class action lawsuit. I guess we'll just do the BBC.
Get an inverter and convert just start buying solar panels, man.
Yep, I totally agree. I think even if entire society breaks down, solar panels will still work.
Right, the sun isn't going anywhere, and if the sun does go anywhere, well,
then we have other problems. Yeah, it won't matter anymore after that.
We will have zero problems. There will be no problems for anyone, anywhere in this whole entire solar system. Because
I think scientists did say, like, if the sun were to just suddenly go out, humans could continue going on for like a week or something.
It would supernova and blast us in the unknown regions of the universe.
Blast us away. Well, there is an idea that it could actually just
burn up, become a black hole, or a
what happens in. That's the plot in I forget what it was called now. That recent movie that came out. That's also a book that has Ryan Gosling in it, and it's about the rock puppet. I can't remember the name of the movie, but anyways, that's the story. That's the plot of that movie. The sun starts dimming, and then it just everywhere gets cold and freezing. So they're trying to figure out a way to make this, and that happens in a lot of movies. Actually, the sun going out, so they have to like put a nuke in it and blow it up or something.
Right. Yeah. Or maybe we're just a simulation. But yeah. The sun is in millions and billions of nuclear explosions. It's a lot.
All right. We'll do a story on who's doing IB Times UK, IGN. Twitch creator sues Amazon over AI training after streamers were automatically opting in. The creator of Twitch has sued Amazon. Interesting.
Really?
There we go. There's some weird culture news.
When you
have to sue your own, when you have to sue the company you created for doing something incredibly unethical.
You see, that's why I didn't put it in as a weird story. Yeah. I think it was more just more malfeasance by big corporations, not giving a shit about whoever who gets hurt. Yeah, they're just people. They don't really matter.
Corporations are people. Their opinion, they matter.
What do people matter? They're just humans trying to freaking. They're stealing wages from me because they work for me and they have to pay them. That's their whole attitude about humans.
They're still. I love when companies go, we were supposed to make 50 million this year, but people didn't buy our thing, so we lost money. It's like, no, that's not how that works. What you predict you earn in the year does not mean anyone owes you money and you did not lose it. It just didn't happen, right? But they always say, oh, we lost 50 million because we expected to make 50 million. So it's like, no.
Directors. Fire the board of directors. Cancel their bonuses.
That'd be like
Cancel
me saying,
the bonuses if you're losing money.
Before Coffee Podcast has lost 10,000 every year since we started in 2023 because we expected to make that much.
And people aren't laid
We've
off
been
because
losing
they're
money.
doing a poor job. They're not laid
whatever.
off because of the company losing money. People aren't laid off because of anything or they're laid off because the company can
Yeah,
make
but I'm not
money
talking
by
about being
losing money.
laid off. I'm talking about when companies, file their taxes and say, "Oh, we lost 50 million this year," because they expected to make 50 million, but they didn't. They didn't lose 50 million. They failed reaching their goal for the year. That's what they did. They failed.
And the
making
reason
their
probably
expected
was
profits.
initial stock offering, their stock price was way too high, and after it got bought up at that $150, Elon Musk, after it got bought up at $150, it crashed immediately. It was a pump and dump where all the rich people made all the money up front. And you bought common stock and you can't sell it. Are you too late to sell it?
But this is why language
shit, it already
matters,
crashed.
because it means something. When companies start saying, "I lost money," they're just they're lying to you. They just suck. Companies just sucked at making money, and they didn't make the projected earnings.
People bragging about their 401k. People bragging about their 401k are hilarious too. It's like, that money is not real money, right? Oh yes, it is. It's real money. I can get it tomorrow. Try getting it tomorrow. Try getting it tomorrow. I guarantee you can't get it tomorrow.
They have to let you get it. They have to allow you to get it. Yeah.
Right. You can't get that money at all. You can borrow it from yourself. You borrow it from yourself. They make money on that because they're charging you interest. That isn't your money. It's not guaranteed. When the stock market crashes, they're not going to bail out Wall Street. They'll bail out the brokerage houses, but they're not going to bail out the investors. They're going to say, "Tough shit, you lost money. You shouldn't take a chance on the stock market." And you'll say, "Well, it was a 401k. Well, they'll say, 401k is not guaranteed. It ain't your pension plan. Your pension plan is guaranteed. Your bank deposits are guaranteed. 401k is just a stock market. It's just you play the stock market and the bond markets. That's all it is. In fact, you probably should just buy bonds because they're guaranteed. Government bonds, 20-year government bonds. It take 20 years to mature, but they're guaranteed.
Yeah.
U.S. savings bonds. That's what a lot of foreign countries buy. They buy U.S. securities because
isn't that what
government
China
bonds
has?
guaranteed. And a lot of people have, everybody buys U.S. debt. A lot of people are selling it now.
I thought China or something was threatening. Yeah, they're threatening to.
All I can really do is sell it. They can threaten it to degrade its rating, but they threatening what? To not buy bonds? That would get the rating. But
no, to sell all the bonds, I think.
They won't do that.
No, I'm just saying that they were threatening it because of the tariffs, like last year.
China won't do that. China won't do that. Germany, somebody like that might, but China won't do that. They have too much control.
All right, going live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It's Wednesday, so happy Wacky and Weird Wednesday, in which we have all the weird oddities that are happening out there in our reality for you, so you can, be re-enlightened in the imagination of our human experience. There's a bunch of word salad for you. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before the show starts. We just got caffeine in our body and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's get into those wacky and weird headlines and spin that segue wheel. Today on Wacky and Weird Wednesday. Caught on birth control pills and worms on antidepressants. Tons of medicine ends up in the ocean every year, warns a think tank. And food poisoning salmonella. Massive egg recall after the contamination of more than 300 people in Belgium. France has warned.
Oh yes. And an octopus in life imitating python. An octopus is filmed with 2 halves of a coconut underwater, and scientists have checked a lot of owl nests and found that 44% of them contain snakes.
A clan clan of Galician boatmen falls after stealing 1,400 kilos of cocaine for the Balkan cartel. And hundreds of home in Apeldoorn are evacuated after they found a possible drug lab.
Yes, more weird news. A 7-year-old boy left behind on Mount Fuji by his dad. In the Joe Dirt story. And why is a NFL owner trolling for sex in a trailer park in Ohio? We'll find out. I don't know.
In my culture news, after giving everyone an opt-out on Twitch for AI training, Twitch creator is suing Amazon over the AI training after streamers were automatically opted in.
And every dog has its day. That's right. And it's National Dog Day. So it's every dog's day. It's every dog's day. It is August 26, 2026 on Before Coffee.
Every dog has its day. It's too bad it wasn't Dog Day yesterday when I did all that story about that dog on the ravine.
That's rough.
All right.
Sure.
Our first segue. Hopefully it's tell a joke since you're already on a roll.
No, let's not. Let's make it something easy.
Telling a joke can be easy.
Sure.
Honestly, there's only like 3 easy things on this. Well, you rolled bad pun. So, same thing. Okay. Same thing, but different.
But it has to be a pun.
No. This first story is coming from the ocean, specifically on a Danish paper by Agnet Finnerman Schill on dr.dk. Almost 4.9 tons of drug substances end up in the ocean each year, according to calculations from the think tank C. Much of what we do on land ends up in our water, and that also applies when we take medication. Every time you rinse a headache pill down or maybe take your daily diabetes medication, the body absorbs what it can and that what is necessary. But the part of the active substance in the drugs ends up in your urine and stools and runs on to the treatment plants. Large amounts are not cleaned and either end up in the sewage sludge, which is used for fertilizer in fields, or directly into aquatic environments. In fact, this may be the equivalent of 4.9 tons of drugs per year, according to an analysis by the think tank C, which is based on calculations of 13 drugs. We consume a large amount of drug products every year for the sake of our health, but those drugs come out in the marine environment in the end. Now there, they will have the same effect on the animals as they have on us, says Henriette Selk. She is a senior consultant in the think tank C and professor of ecotoxicology at the Roskilde University and researches environmental hazardous substances and their effects on animals, especially in the marine environment. I'm actually surprised that it's so much we're talking about. And then my story is in Danish again, so I need to translate it. I can't read that. I can't read Danish. There are about 1,450 drug substances on the Danish market, but the think tank has selected 13 key substances, which include painkillers, antidepressants, antibiotics, and birth control pills. The medical residue contributed to a marine environment that is already seriously polluted by chemical substances, which also come from the industry, fish farming and agriculture, and which are also squeezed by a number of other serious conditions such as oxygen depletion and fishing. And now they're also taking drugs. At Roskilde University, they have investigated how animals in the water are affected if they take antidepressants. They have done this on worms, which usually dig themselves into the bottom when a fish comes, which will eat them. Usually they stand up and strut up from the seabed and move slowly back and forth. Exposure to antidepressants, they instead quickly flitter back and forth to eventually collapse. They're like, hey, over here, eat me, eat me. They're so happy, they don't even fear death. The consequence is that they become more indifferent to fleeing if there's a predatory fish. They don't do it at all at the same speed as they usually do, or they don't hide at all. It might sound like a small problem, but if there are fewer of them, then there is less food for the fish. And that is to say, the fish population will also be affected in long term. If you have no food, then all the fish start dying. There's no mention of whether slimming drugs provide thinner eels, but according to the report, residues from the pill can be seen in the feminization of male fish. Really? Male fish are taking proestrogen and then they start becoming female fish. And they begin to develop eggs in their testicles, which affects reproduction. Instead of spreading their sperm on eggs, they're just spreading their own eggs on eggs. Headache pills can cause changes in genitals and muscles. I had no idea muscles had genitals. That's news to me. And it makes sense, but I never thought about it until now. And affects the immune system of oysters. While heart medicines can affect the heart rhythm of fish caterpillars. I didn't even know there were fish caterpillars. There's so much marine life. The analysis is based on calculations that take into account purchased medicine, how much of the drug is excreted from the body, and how much is whizzing through the purification plants. So these are not concrete measurements in the sea or in animals because there are not many. Therefore, it is difficult to assess exactly how serious the problem is from residue in the sea. The think tank has looked at 10 so-called indicator substances in the Urban Wastewater Directive: amphoterapid, candesartan, carbamazepine, citalopram, clarithromycin, dislofenac, hydrochlorothiazide, urbansartan, metoprolol, venlafaxine, as well as 3 key substances: paracetamol, which is pain medication, metformin, and azithromycin. I only know one of those medicines, and that's paracetamol. Of all of the total of the 645,000 kilos of active substances that are purchased every year, based on the assumptions about what is expected to be excreted from the body, decomposing in purification plants and emitted out of them, the think tank estimates that 4,861 kilograms of pharmaceuticals are emitted each year from a water plant. John Jensen, senior researcher and deputy head of the Department of Eco-Science at Aarhus University, said medication will also, unlike for example PFAS, be broken down faster and bottom compare. And because the sea is so large, it will also be diluted far more than in a narrow stream where you actually measure. On the other hand, the amounts of drug substances in aquatic environments are very large. So there's your weird and wacky news on our drugged up ocean. 4,000 kilos of drugs every year. It's not a lot, but it's, I guess, affecting animal life already.
I could say it's a whale of a problem. This is a bad pun. But my other pun is this is an ad from Craigslist. This is an ad from Craigslist. It says, "To the person who stole my antidepressants, I hope you're happy now." There you go. There's your pun.
Yippee!
You stole my...
Yeah, those worms are very happy. Yeah.
I find that hilarious. I'm sorry.
Woohoo! Alright, my next story is about another story. We're going to talk about salmonella. Breaking news alert coming out of Belgium and France, I guess. A few hundred people have become ill because of a bacteria in outdoor bred chicken eggs, the Federal Food Safety Agency confirmed, and informed several of European neighbors supplied by the company concerned. This is on Liberation. By Liberation. The first recall was in May, but the measure was not enough to stop the contamination. Today in Belgium, at least 306 people have been infected with salmonella after eating eggs. The Federal Agency for Safety and Food Chain, IFSCA or AFSCA, announced on August 25th, which was yesterday, on Tuesday. It has managed to trace the origin of the contamination, a chicken co-op belonging to producer Lartco, located in Halle in the province of Antwerp. as reported by RTL Info and Le Soir. The relevant lots 2BE. So write these down if you are buying eggs from Belgium. 2BE 107301, 2BE 107302, 2BE 107303, and 2BE 107304. Those eggs were chickens raised in an open air and were sold by several distributors, including Colruyt, Delhaize, Aldi, and Carrefour. So if you bought any eggs from any of those distributors, check your lot number. In Belgium, they were all removed from the shelves, but 8 other countries are supplied by the company: France, the Netherlands, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Poland, and the Czech Republic, and Luxembourg. Of course, you don't have to worry about salmonella so much if you just cook your eggs all the way. Just make sure they get to like 40 degrees, and then you should be safe from salmonella. But if you don't eat any raw eggs, if you have these lot numbers, ASCA warned them. Luxembourg, according to Le Sieur, carried out a preventative recall. While eggs are increasingly consumed in France, the sale of contaminated lots can also generate many cases. Of course, especially if you're having something like that one dish with raw meat and raw egg. Free salmonella for everyone. Salmonellosis is most often transmitted through the ingestion of food, eggs, cheese, raw or poorly cooked meat, or contaminated water. Between the 12 and 96 hours later, it causes diarrhea, fever, vomiting, and abdominal pain. These symptoms usually go away after a few days, but in elderly, infants, and pregnant women or immunocompromised people, the infection can be very severe, even fatal. As the Institut Pasteur recalls, Belgium has not reported any deaths at this stage. So, drink a lot of water, because that's what the thing that gets you is dehydration from all that diarrhea. So there is your short story. Breaking salmonella news. Check your eggs if you're buying eggs in Europe anyways. And there has to be a potty humor pun in here somewhere.
There must be. I don't have one though.
I'm not gonna sneeze. My face hurts.
I would just say it's about time we threw up a nice botulism and puking story. And salmonella.
I've been lucky enough to not get salmonella, as far as I know. So, knock on wood.
We just threw up that story on the internet for all you.
All right, let's get our next segue. Yeah. Not the best thing to eat your breakfast too.
I think humans intuitively know when they've eaten some bad food, right? I think you know that. You're like, wait a minute. And then once you feel that, wait a minute, you probably just go puke. You probably should just go puke. Just puke it out. It's not going to help.
Robert was talking about it the other day. He got food poisoning from some bad carbonara sauce, which is raw egg and cream. Right? So two things that can go bad. Two things that can just go bad, and he like ate it, and then he was like, I don't feel so good. And he was at work too, because he worked at an Italian place. So he made.
It's time.
He was like, I don't feel so good, and then he went, hey boss, I don't feel so good, and the boss was like, yeah, you are incredibly pale. I'm gonna go home. I think he ended up not puking. I think he ended up not puking, but he was sick for several days. He was just like, I don't feel good. My body hates life.
Experimenting with food, not always.
I don't think it was experiment. They just had a bad supplier. It happens sometimes, right?
It's always an experiment when you eat out. All right, let's.
All right, this is alliteration headlines. Our next segue for your story.
Right, alliteration. It's good. This actually lends itself to it, I think. I don't know which story I read first. I think it was the scientists check the owls first. Nah, let's do life imitating python.
The snake
life imitating python first. Yeah. Well, pythons and snakes, they're related, I guess. An octopus is filmed carrying 2 halves of a coconut. This is science. SpaceDaily.com. Chiron Journals. Last name is Journals. You better become a journalist if your last name is Journals. An octopus was filmed carrying 2 halves of a coconut shell across the seafloor to reassemble them later as a portable suit of armor. One of the only clear cases of wild invertebrate using tools. Anyway, let's get to the story. I just read the story, basically. It's in the headline. A team of Australian marine biologists were driving off the coast of northwestern Sulawesi, Indonesia, on a research trip to study a completely different species of octopus. One of them saw something it could not explain. A small octopus on the seafloor was busy manipulating two halves of a discarded coconut shell. The researchers assumed the animal was going to hide inside one of them, which would have been ordinary. Octopuses hide inside things constantly, empty shells, bottles, pipes, anything with a cavity. What the octopus did instead was stack the two halves of the shells like nested bowls, position itself on top of them, extend its arm rigidly around the outside, and walk across the sand, carrying the whole assembly with it. The researcher, in his own subsequent testimony, laughed so hard through his regulator that he had to surface. He was laughing.
It probably is a very ridiculous thing to see, yeah.
According to a 2009 paper written by a bunch of people's names, it's called The University of Experts Polar Cappers, published a current biology journal titled Defensive Tool Use of the Coconut Carrying Octopus. The researchers spent more than 500 diver hours between 1999 and 2008 observing veined octopuses, the species Amphiooctopus marginatus, on soft sediment substrates off the Sulawesi and Bali. Over that period, they watched 20 individual octopuses closely. On 4 separate occasions, individuals were observed stacking coconut shell halves across the seafloor for distances up to 20 meters. The carrying method researchers named stilt walking. The octopus positions the 2 shell halves beneath its body with the concave surfaces facing up, extends its 8 arms rigidly around beneath the shells, and walks forward on the stiffened arms. The whole assembly moves together as a single ungainly packages. The gait is measurably slower and more energy costly than the animal's ordinary locomotion. It leaves the octopus' soft body exposed and vulnerable to predators during the entire journey. There is no immediate benefit to the animal while the shells are being carried. Whether benefit they provide arrives later once the octopus, whatever benefits they provides arrives later once the octopus has stopped moving. At the destination, the animal inverts the top shell over the bottom one, climbs inside the resting spear, and pulls the closer shut around itself, leaving only a small gap for water flow. The 2 shell halves, now assembled, function as a small hardened chamber inside which the otherwise defenseless octopus is completely protected from view and physical attack. So there's your fun little story watching the octopuses. Oh, look at, aren't they cute? They're just so cute as they're protecting themselves from predators. I wonder if aliens are watching us and doing this. Right? They're just, look at us, look at the way they buy 40 guns to protect themselves.
There's a theory that octopus are aliens.
Octopi.
They're not even from here.
Octopi.
Yeah, that they got delivered into our oceans from a meteor.
Right, we have a theory about everything on our planet, right?
Being an
Spiders
alien.
aren't natural. Maybe we're the aliens.
I
Think about that
wouldn't
way.
say they're not natural.
That's a
They're definitely
very
made
good-
by nature. They're just not earthlings. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're not earthlings.
They definitely will freak you out with the way they move and get inside stuff. So yeah, what?
Also,
Anyway,
hello,
we're
Nico.
calling-
Thank you for your centrist acorn.
They're-
Here's my alliteration.
Okay.
Clever octopus crafts a cocoon with coconuts for cunning cover.
All right.
Sadly, there's not an alternate word for octopus with a C, so
Oh really?
I
Not
get
really.
cephalopod
Octopi.
maybe.
Icopod,
Cephalopod,
there you
but
go.
it's an S sound. It's not like it's not the K sound, you know. So it doesn't work.
Cephalopod. You have a
Cephalopod.
speech impediment. I'm sorry. I have a code.
Octopus wouldn't work either.
I'm sorry. I have a code. That's an excuse for everything. All right. Let's
right,
do
next
another
story.
story. Weird story. This one's not legitimately about snakes. Timesofindia.com or indiatimes.com. It says timesofindia.indiatimes.com. Okay. Has this story, scientists checked 109 live owl nests. I'm sorry. Let's do that again. Scientists checked 109 owl nests in Turkey and found live snakes in 44% of them with a surprise twist. How did the snakes get there? Probably brought by the owls. Right? A nest box occupied by Eurasian scops owl might seem an unlikely place to find a live snake, yet that's exactly what researchers repeatedly encountered in central Turkey. Across 6 breeding seasons, they inspected 109 owl nests and found the small worm snake Zero, starts with an X, Zerotyphops, P-H-L-O-P, flops. Zerotyphops, Vermicularis. I'm not going to say that word again. And 44% of them, the reptiles were not simply using the empty boxes. They occurred only in nests occupied by scops owls. And observations suggesting that the owls were carrying the snakes inside while they were still alive. What happened next is less clear. The worm snakes, which feed on tiny invertebrates, were found moving through the nesting material where ants and fly larvae can occur. The young owls also appear to fare better in nests containing the snakes. 61% of hatched chicks fledged, compared to 29% where the snakes were absent. The figures raise the possibility of unusual relationship, but they do not yet prove one. The species involved was the European scops owl, Otis scops, a small nocturnal owl. I think they're mostly nocturnal, aren't they? That breeds across much of Europe and parts of Asia. The study published in Ornithology titled A Association of Nesting Otis scops with Xerophilopus vermicularis, I can't pronounce that word, in Turkey reveals the snake Vermicularis. There you go. Zerotyphops vermicularis. God, I hate scientific words. Reveals this, commonly known as a worm snake, or just call it worm snake, a burrowing species with a diet centered on small invertebrates. So these owls are no danger. The snake can't do anything about it, can't even poison them or kill them or anything. But it's probably protecting them in some way, it seems like. During repeated nest box inspections, the snakes appeared only in boxes occupied by scops owls. That pattern mattered because it made a simple explanation, such an accidental entry, less convincing. The snakes were being found in active owl nests, including among material used to line the nesting space. The observations also indicated that the owls were bringing the reptiles in while they were still alive to eat them, right? Or to feed them to their young. And here's a nice live snake for you little youngsters, and the little youngsters can't catch it and gets away. Obviously, what's happening. This is an unusual behavior in itself. Owls commonly carry prey back to the nest for the young, but their snakes did not appear to be serving as food. Instead, the reptiles were left in the nest environment. Oh, so they weren't even eating them. Maybe they
protect
adults
from
just
other
don't know.
things. Oh.
Yeah, possibly. But are the owls aware of that? Or are they just going, hey, I know my nest does better with these little worm snakes in it?
Maybe the owls are like, ooh, a free snack if I get hungry. You go ahead and stay here so I can get some Doritos.
Yeah, repeat that statistic here a little bit later. Here they go repeating it again. Well, it's worth repeating. Among the young that hatched, 61% eventually fledged from nests containing snakes. In nests without snakes, the corresponding figure was 29%. So they're like little security blankets, maybe. I don't know. Either way, it seems like they're not ending up being food of any sort. The snakes could benefit simply from carried into a warm, food-rich environment. While any advantage of owls might be incidental, there's also the possibility that owls sometimes select snakes as prey but fail to consume them, leaving them alive in the nest. I just think they just don't know what their kids will eat. I don't know. As a parent, you don't know what the hell your kids are going to eat. Do you like slugs? You don't like slugs. Ah, shit. Let's go find something else. Researchers describe several possible explanations rather than just being one. Hey, it's a mixed bag. The distinction matters because a mutualistic relationship requires benefit to both sides, not just an unusual association. Observations suggest that something interesting is happening, but they do not yet reveal exactly what the owls carry the snakes into their boxes. Why are they doing it? Why are snakes? You're confounding us, owls and snakes. Of course, humans always trying to understand things. Maybe we're just not meant to understand. Let's have us say, or as the headline should read about the owls and snakes' unusual relationship, which doesn't appear to be symbiotic, but at least mutualistic.
Sneaky snakes silently slither, settling in secretive spots within shaded owl nests.
and semi-symbiotic, right? Aha!
I think it definitely sounds like it's symbiotic, but it might be. There's like 3 different kind of symbiotic relationships, and it might be
Semi-symbiotic.
I don't know.
The snakes
I have to
get
look it
a
up.
free nest.
No, it's
They get a free luxury apartment, and the owls get a security blanket.
relationship. I'm looking this up now because I remember learning this in biology. But there's several different types of symbiotic relationships. Yeah, there's mutualism, parasitism, and commensalism. So this is probably commensalism, where they just happen to be living in the same place, right? But they don't give each other any sort of mutualism is the one you're thinking of. Most people, when you think of a symbiotic relationship, you think of mutualism,
No, that's what they said.
Oh, they said it is mutualism.
Yeah, that's what it said in the article.
Yeah,
They
okay.
said this is a
Okay.
mutualism.
Okay, so it is mutualism. Yeah, most people think of mutualism when they think of symbiotic relationships,
No,
which is like
I don't know if it
fish
is.
cleaning the
That's
shark's
what they said in
teeth.
the article.
Yeah, they're scientists, so that's their theory, anyways. Their running theory. But yeah, that's what most people think.
No,
But most people think of mutualism.
It definitely seems like the owls
Yeah.
are benefiting from it. So,
Yeah.
and what way we don't know.
Commensalism is the one where like nobody's benefiting, but it's still happening anyway.
We know the
more
snakes are
uncommon one.
benefiting.
Yeah.
We know the snakes are benefiting because they would leave the nest if they weren't, right? They would just, bye,
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Why am I here? I mean, they're definitely benefiting
Yeah.
from like
I'm
a
gonna get
warm
eaten by an
owl sitting
owl
on
if I
top
sit-
of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that owl's
Think-
going to eat me if I sit here much longer.
Seen a worm snake, but they love crawling on like warm things. I found a worm snake in nature, and it just wound its stuff in my fingers, and wrapped around my fingers. They're very small and tiny, and they can't bite you.
They slow their heartbeat to 1 beat per minute during the winter, and then they lay on the rocks in the summer because they have no body heat.
Exactly. That's your last
Birds
story.
do provide body heat.
More segue.
Even though they're reptilian in nature, they have to go south for a winter.
Most snakes aren't actually aggressive in biting people.
No, they can't. They can't bite people. Yeah. They couldn't if they
Well,
wanted
a lot
to.
of snakes can bite people, but not worm snakes. But I'm just saying, snakes
Most
in general.
snakes can.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're getting bad pun 3 times in a row. I don't even have anything on the bingo for 3 times roll. I only have a double roll. I need to put a 3 times roll. Damn.
Is there a way to roll it backwards?
Oh my goodness. It's
Maybe
like
reset
a
it.
4 times roll. It's like you need to give me more. I guess the wheel was not happy with your bad
Hold
pun,
it down
so it wants
longer.
more.
I don't know.
It's an automatic thing. There's a holding it down.
Just forget it. Just pick something. It's not funny.
It's hilarious.
You think it's
Keep
funny? I
landing
don't think
on
it's
bad
funny.
puns.
It's not funny, man. You're laughing at this. Like, just pick something. Who gives a shit anymore?
Well, you can pick something then.
No.
Oh, okay.
Do what
Well
you
then,
spin.
I guess we're not doing anything.
You must have spun something.
It's tell a joke, which is the same thing as a bad pun, really. So there you go.
No, it's not.
Our
Not
next
the
story is coming from Spain, where some Galician boatmen were trying to smuggle 1,400 kilos of cocaine for the Balkan cartel, but they got caught red-handed. This is on El Pais by Elisa Luis. The police managed to abort their distribution by discovering the drug hideout and arresting the 3 involved in the landing. A police operation with an epicenter in the north of Arousa estuary has again highlighted the links of the Galician boatmen with international cocaine distribution networks that operate in Central Europe,
More drugs.
where those who perform the landing and concealment of the drug at specialized service companies in lifting the bales on the high seas and unloading them on land. But this past Saturday, which was the 20th, yesterday was the 25th, or 22nd of August. On Saturday, one of them has fallen in with the entire team. 1,400 kilos of cocaine that the group known as Os Fanchos had hidden in a shed next to a beach in Pobra de Cariminal in A Coruña to supposedly be delivered to one of the cells that makes up the powerful Balkan clan. 3 alleged accomplices of the landing have been arrested in the operation, among which is the police standout as the leader of the Os Fanchos clan and Rafael Rivas Gay, who is attributed to the maximum link of as the leader of the group, is charged with coordinating the reception and custody of the drug. Next to him were arrested 2 collaborators of Rivas in the disembarkation and concealment inland of the cash. One of them, of Croatian nationality, who is in charge of monitoring the delivery of the cargo to its owners, according to police. The Balkans strike again. The investigation of agents of the Greco-Galician unit of the Central Narcotics Brigade has had the collaboration of the Anti-Drug Agency of the United States, the DEA, to prevent the drug from leaving Galicia and reach the Central European consumer, its final destination. The last phase of the operation began on August 20th after the agents were warned that the 2 boats collected a significant cache on the high seas that had been landed on a beach in Apobra de Paminal. Según las... Oh, never mind. It became my article became Spanish. I can't read... Well, I can read Spanish, but I can't translate it. All right. Where was I? I lost it. Okay. According to the first information collected by the police, the clans of Os Fanchos was in charge of the work related to the discharge and subsequent custody of the narcotic drug. The investigation focused especially on the leader of the clan being identified as one of the people who had coordinated the cache. Since that time, different devices have been established to determine their degree of participation, according to sources from the Ministry of Interior. Despite extreme security measures to avoid detection, last Friday, the researchers observed a first movement of the group that put them on alert. That was the August 21st. At 6 a.m., they were able to see how a vehicle reached the home of Rivas, the main one being investigated. Shortly after, a person leaving the house with a backpack went up to the same vehicle, whose occupants adopted numerous security measures to prevent the agents from detecting and following them. During the early morning of August 22nd, the leader of the clan, accompanied by 2 other men, made several trips from his home to a shed located in front of his property, very close to the beach O Conchito. The officers then observed how the 3 individuals began to move heavy packages from the shed to another house in the same municipality. Because of their characteristics and the way they were being manipulated, investigators suspected it would be cocaine packages. The fact that they were trying to lose their tail, so to say, right? Made it more suspicious. Why are these guys trying to lose our tail? Given the evidence that the transfer and concealment of the narcotic drug was taking place, the 3 involved and the seizure of the drug occurred. Once the drug substance was secured, the agents carried out searches at the home of the alleged ringleader of the group, in the shed, and in the 3rd house to which the packages had been transferred. In addition to cocaine, the records located 100 grams of heroin, cash, and other effects of interest to the investigation. The detainees have become available to the court as alleged perpetrators of the crimes of belonging to a criminal organization and drug trafficking. After testifying on Monday, the 24th of August, the judge has decreed her admission, or has decreed that they're going to prison. And they'll probably have a later actual date, criminal proceedings, right, to determine how long they're going to prison. But they're definitely going. I don't even think they get bail. I don't even think they're getting bail. Prison with no bail. And that's my story on 1,400 kilos of cocaine in Spain.
The cocaine in Spain falls mainly in the plane, but that's not my joke. A teenager rolls up to the border. Teenager rolls up to the border on a bicycle every day with a sack of sand, and the suspicious border guard checks it every single time, only to find it's literally just sand. Years later, the guard is retired and drinking at a bar when he sees the same guy, both grown up. Now he begs them to confess. I know you were smuggling something across the border every day. Please, what was it? The guy looks at him and says, Bicycles.
Ah, good one. I was thinking it was going to be a bait and switch, right? Oh yeah, look at the suspicious package.
He was stealing bikes in another country. You didn't
It's a
even
real
know.
thing in the Netherlands. There's an actual, I guess, bike stealing cartel in Amsterdam. It's
Of
a whole
course.
economy. Yeah.
I was there today. They were pulling bikes out of the canal in Amsterdam.
Oh yeah. People get drunk and their bike falls in. They're like, "Oh, I'll just get a new one."
Canals in Amsterdam are full of bikes. I know this because I see them do it.
I don't know if
fishing
there's
them out.
I don't know if there's like a limitations on this, but I bought a stolen bike in Amsterdam.
Yeah. The assholes.
Most people buy stolen bikes in Amsterdam, so you don't buy your own bike.
Yeah, the biggest asshole activity in Amsterdam is apparently throwing unlocked bikes into the canals. That run through all the city.
All right, I have another story after this very short update on more drugs.
Oh,
more
weather
drugs for
story.
me.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Speaking of the Netherlands and our illegal bike selling, I guess, economy, there was also a drug lab. Yes, the Netherlands also has a drug lab economy. This is from NOS News. In Apeldoorn, which is on the east side of the Netherlands, a large flat was evacuated after the discovery of a possible drug lab. The residents of about 100 homes had to leave their apartments around 10 a.m. Why exactly has not been disclosed. Well, contact exposure, I expect. The possible drug lab was discovered last night in the flat in here we go. Urbo Obonenstraat. Reports broadcasting Gelderland. Firefighters were quickly on the scene. The National Facility Decommissioning, LFO, had been present since the morning. This will take action if chemicals pose a danger to the environment. A team leader, Explosive Safety TEV, of the police is also on the way. The area around the building has been cordoned off. Police cannot yet say whether there is an explosive hazard. And I don't know if there's an actual update on this story because it happened right when the show started. But it's a really you don't need to write a joke for this one because it's really short. But yeah, I don't think there's been an update since. There's like, oh, here we go. We've got a live feed. I translate to English because, like I said, this happened right when the show started. They cleared the flats. The live blog. The police discovered weapons in a possible drug lab. There could be possible explosive material. Police spokesman Susan Solton still cannot indicate exactly what has been discovered in the property. It's a Mabitol drug lab. What is Mabitol? There's multiple weapons and a selection of fireworks, a small amount of fireworks. However, it indicates that the ED is on site in relation to substances that may be explosive. I hope they're not that explosive. 3 entire apartment complexes have been cleared out. Tone Hertz, the mayor of Apeldoorn, has arrived at the flats. When asked what he's coming to do, he says, if 3 flats have to be evacuated in a number of houses, it seems logical to me that I will be aware of what's going on here and now, on site. He speaks to a number of residents of the flat. It's pretty special. Someone just needed to go to the toilet. Fortunately, we have a lot of greenery in Apeldoorn. I told the police that they should just turn a blind eye. The mayor has given people in Apeldoorn permission to use nature's facilities if necessary. The municipality is now in process of arranging shelter. That's also a weird and wacky thing in this whole story. You may pee in the bushes! We turn a blind eye! The municipality is now in process of arranging shelter for the residents and says there may be a school building nearby where they can stay to take care of other practicalities that people need, clothing, medicine, and that kind of thing. Hertz has no idea how long the deposition will last, and also it depends on how long the EOD needs. About the large-scale evacuation in case of explosives, it's better to turn off too wide than to say afterwards, oh, we didn't do anything and everyone died, Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we maybe didn't need you, but it's a good thing we did. I can't find out what mayobutol is as a drug. I looked it up.
It sounds like a stimulant. What is it?
In English, it's called meth. Oh, it's meth, I think.
Meth, yeah.
Methacolone? Yeah, it's meth. They found a meth lab.
Yeah, it's meth.
Mabutol is, I guess, what we call it in Dutch, because Dutch have different words for different things. But yeah, they found a meth lab. It's a meth lab. They suspect. But there's my short, weird, and wacky story about happening right now as this show is running. They found a drug lab in Appleborn. It happens more often than you think. Sadly, yeah. Very.
It's a difference.
Very common.
Difference between a meth lab and a black lab.
What?
One is an illegal, dangerous chemical operation, while the other is a popular, friendly breed of dog. I mean, it's obvious, right?
A black lab. Black lab is also what happens when you have a. Maybe that's how they discovered it. That's how they discovered it. No, the windows were all blacked out, right? It's like, why are your windows blacked out? That's suspicious. Aww. Why are people saying they smell chemicals? Yeah.
That's why I find certain things about that Breaking Bad movie or TV show were hard for me to swallow. The one where they did a fumigation business.
Yeah. You don't need to black out something for that.
In Albuquerque, yeah, you would have to put a tent over the entire house for 30 days, and nobody's suspicious. Nobody anywhere is suspicious of that, right? It's just weird. Anyway.
Associated is our next segue for your stories. Banana Man? No banana split, though.
Okay. Associate, you say, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to talk about two totally unrelated stories. I don't know. If you get millions of dollars and you're kind of a scumbag, I guess you just stay a scumbag. I don't know. TheGuardian.com has a story. Jed York's trailer park arrest exposed inequality in America. Who's Jed York? He's a rich guy, part of a rich family, but that didn't stop him from being just a the typical lonely man in a town. Oh, I can buy me a prostitute. But this is a rich guy. He can afford the rich prostitutes, but that's not what he did. The Wheat Hill mobile home community. This is Lee Escobedo from TheGuardian.com. The Wheat Hill mobile home community, which really is taking a bad rap from this. It ain't their fault. The Wheat Hill mobile home community sits off State Route 170 at the edge of East Palestine, Ohio, a town most Americans only learned about because a train derailed there. We covered this in February 2023 when we were first on the air. It's one of our first stories. Train derailment in East Palestine. I don't think they even call it Palestine. They call it something else. Palestine or something like that. Anyway, a train derailed there on February 2023 and released toxic chemicals into the creek. I grew up in a trailer park like this one and know the sights. The grid of aluminum boxes in rows, skirting the color of old teeth. Some of it buckled, some patched, and with a piece of lattice. Okay, let's paint a picture. You know what trailer parks look like. If you don't know that by now, I don't know. The window units huff and puff in August, dripping dark condensation onto the gravel. Oh, he's written a novel here. Okay, John Steinbeck, let's get on with the story. I'm sure there were drugs on my street. I'm sure everybody was selling sex. I never saw it. What I saw are families raising kids. By the way, guy writing this article, nobody at the trailer park was selling sex. It was an undercover cop who arranged to meet him there. Okay, let's not drag the trailer park. It ain't the trailer park's problem. It's the cop. It's the billionaire. Leave the trailer park out of it. This is a kind of place where police arrest. Seriously, this is poorly written. This is the kind of place where police arrested San Francisco 49ers owner Jed York on the morning of 23 August, roughly 3 days ago. Agents with the Mahoning Valley Human Trafficking Task Force, or the MVHTTF, posted an undercover ad on a website known for prostitution. York answered it and agreed to pay a woman just $160 for sex, according to court records. There was no woman waiting for York. Dan Huter, an East Palestine detective on the task force, described the method to an Ohio Attorney General's office in 2024. Post an advertising for sex online, negotiate a price with an idiot, and arranged to meet in East Palestine. The sting worked because it's based on real life. York carried the glowing phone he used to set the bargain to the trailer park, where officers took him into custody. Police booked York on 2 counts, engaging in prostitution, which was later reduced to disorderly conduct. Of course, the trailer park was the cops' idea, right? It wasn't the trailer park's fault. It wasn't Jed York who went to the trailer park. It was the cops' idea. Let's stop dragging the trailer park for no reason. The trailer park had nothing to do with this, by the way. Not a fucking thing. Let's leave him out of it. Ugh. I'm so sorry this guy even wrote this article because he just misses the point. Maybe he'll get to the point. I don't know. York pleaded no contest to the charge and was sentenced to 2 days in jail, which he already served, and fined $1,150. Ohio charges buying, check this out. Ohio charges buying sex from an adult as a first-degree misdemeanor and sends the buyer to an education program. Selling is a third-degree misdemeanor. So if you can sell it, buying it is worse because you probably shouldn't be, whatever, I don't know. Whatever, it's just sex. Again, sex, one of those things that remains undefeated. So the statute is harder on the buyer. The statute is harder on the buyer, or the statute for that matter, is harder on the buyer, but it helps a buyer like York if he can pay a high-powered lawyer to work his case. York ended up pleading the count down to disorderly conduct. Well, he can do that because he's rich. York is not the first NFL owner to find themselves in a situation like this. Another article that totally ignores the Giants owner. Anyway, let's talk about Florida prosecutors charged New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft in 2019 with soliciting prostitutions at the Orchids of Asia spa in Jupiter, Florida, part of which police billed as a major human trafficking investigation. Again, this is human trafficking. This ain't just prostitution, folks. Yeah, let's do it. Of course, now the setting a guy up with a prostitution scheme is not human trafficking. That's just nailing some guy. That's what that is. His lawyers challenged the hidden camera warrants and won. Oh yeah, hidden camera warrants are not illegal. Are not legal. The state dropped the charges in September 2020 on a technicality because rich guys get away with shit. By then, the assistant attorney general already told the court the investigation turned up no human trafficking. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Could have been catching Epstein instead, but no, they're just playing games. Prosecutors pressed ahead with 4 Chinese women who worked at the Orchids of Asia instead. The women didn't receive the same breaks. Instead, they received criminal records and $45,000 of fine. Oh, so in other words, Florida does not punish the guy who went there. It punishes the women that work there who have no money because they're sex workers. That's why they're sex workers. They have no money. So that works. You go into the line of work you can do, which pays the most. And that's what sex work is. It's not some kind of shameful thing. We act like sex is shameful. And that's all we all got here. By the way, they're leaving out the worst NFL owner of them all, Steve Tisch, who is one of the owners of the New York Giants, who is all over the Epstein list. And again, he just wasn't punished at all. He just turned over control to his family, which isn't even punishment. We'll just leave him out of the story, even though he's probably worse than both of these guys. Nationwide, women account for nearly 64% of adult prostitution arrests because they arrest the prostitutes. Rebecca Pfeffer, assistant professor of criminal justice at the University of Houston downtown, studied 23,000 prostitution cases in Harris County, Texas, and found the police arrested and jailed men less often than women. The women who landed in jail stayed there longer. Once again, law enforcement is only there to protect rich people. That's the only reason it exists. It's there to protect rich people. They're security forces for the rich people. If you think it's any different, I would like you to give me an example of a rich people going to prison. Just one. Just one. Never happens. My mom could support us because nothing on her record stopped her. Put a prostitution conviction on a woman who 2 lots down and a background check keeps her unemployed and desperate. The NFL's personal conduct policy is blunt about how owners should conduct themselves. The policy claims how to hold owners to a higher standard than anyone else in the league, which is complete horse shit. They don't have any standards for owners, and they never have. because Jimmy Haslam is still an owner in the NFL, and Jimmy Haslam owns the Cleveland Browns, and he's the guy that was ripping off truckers at his truck stops that he owns. So they don't have any code of conduct. A leaked spokesperson says York's case will be reviewed under that policy. Nothing will happen to him. Kraft drew no discipline from the NFL. Like I said, nothing will happen to him. After Florida dropped the charges. Well, they dropped the charges. It couldn't have been illegal. Dude, you got a fucking fancy-ass lawyer to drop the charges. Man, I hate rich people. Owners write the rules, and the NFL commissioner they hire and pay in the enforcement. A standard like that lasts exactly as long as the owners want it to. That's right. The owners hire the commissioner, and the commissioner is not about to fine the people that hired him. But expecting those owners to hold themselves accountable is wishful thinking. A York situation would be less absurd if the U.S. decriminalized the entire transaction for all parties. The ACLU reviewed the empirical research on how criminalization affects sex workers and found that police are a bigger threat to sex workers than clients are. Yes, the police shake them down for sex. That's what they do. Additionally, researchers from the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health surveyed 250 women and found that 22% had suffered violence from a client in the previous 3 months, while 78% had endured at least one abusive encounter with the police. The numbers cover different time spans, so they aren't a clean comp, but they make the same point. The police sent to protect women are also a danger to them, and the same cohort of women, 70% have been locked up for more than 3 days, an average of 15 incarcerations apiece. Kate Shannon, associate professor at the medicine at the University of British Columbia, and her colleagues looked into 87 studies, include that over the course of a decade, decriminalization could prevent 33 to 46% of projected HIV infections, female sex workers. I will note that how did Colombia get rid of HIV? They legalized sex work and regulated it and gave them physicals. That's how you do it, folks. People are going to have sex. Sex is undefeated. Sex is not going away anytime soon. Just in case you're wondering. Not going away anytime soon. And that goes for all species, by the way. They all have sex. And paying for it, you pay for it anyway. You always pay for it. I don't care what the hell. There is no
socially,
situation
economically,
in life,
yeah,
where you do not pay for sex. You pay for it in guilty feelings. You pay for it in, oh my God, who did I sleep with? Or you have a kid, right? That's another payment for life.
Yeah,
so
for
there
life.
you go. Or you marry that woman and you keep paying her in alimony because you didn't get along with her. It's all, none of it's free. Stop regulating what people do with their organs. My Lord, leave us alone. I am not on Jed York's side. He's just a man. He didn't do anything terribly wrong. There's nothing really criminally wrong with Jed York. He's going through a divorce. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with what he did. The only question I have is, you couldn't scale up a little bit? You know, you have to answer an anonymous
I'm not
ad.
judging him on his buying prostitution. I'm judging him on his quality of prostitution.
I'm just saying, man. You got all the money in the world.
You can go to Amsterdam, where it's free, where it's legal.
Saying, you just go to a bar. Just the ordinary human slut bag will sleep with you because you're rich. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need. You're rich. Slut bag will hook up with you. No questions asked. Give her some money. Give her some cab fare. Send her home. You won't have to deal with the cops. What is this guy thinking?
Wow.
That's the only problem here. What's wrong with the word slut bag?
No, that's just great. It's I didn't say it. I'm laughing because it's a great word. Oh,
I'm just saying. I mean, they're out there. They're out there, Jed. Wear a condom. Anyway.
All right. My association for this is really easy because
yeah, go ahead.
As I just mentioned, I live in Amsterdam. I don't live in Amsterdam, but I live in the place in a country where it's legal to have prostitutes. And just like the article was saying, right, having illegal prostitution causes harm to many people. Here, there's people who are sex trafficked into the Netherlands. I don't know why, if you're going to sex traffic, you would do it here, but there are idiots who do that here. And then the girls found out, hey, wait, I have rights here. The women find out, hey, I have rights here. And you can just go to the police and say, hey, I was sex trafficked here from Ukraine or whatever. And they say, oh, okay. And you don't get in trouble. Whereas if you get sex trafficked to a place where prostitution is illegal, you're not going to go contact the police and say, help me, I'm being trafficked. Because they're just going to be like, oh, well, you're going to prison now for being a prostitute.
I think you would. I think you would.
No,
I think you would.
But I'm saying there's people who don't because they know it's a crime and they're going to get punished for it. That's all I'm saying.
They'll get deported.
One
Not
way
punished,
to stay. Yeah. Well, it's a punishment in its own way. Either way, if you make prostitution legal, then sex trafficking doesn't have any. It's the same thing with drugs, right? If you make consuming drugs in your private life legal, there's not going to be illegal drug cartels and black markets for it because it's legal now, right? Oh, I can just go down the street and buy some cocaine. We don't need people smuggling cocaine across the border anymore because I can just go get some at the corner shop. Just an example.
Every law that tries to curtail harmless human behavior like this is just creates a black market. That's all it does. And criminals get rich. And again, laws are for honest people and poor people because rich people don't have to follow the law and criminals never follow the law. That's why they're criminals.
Yeah, exactly.
So making more things illegal is just another way for rich people to avoid taxes. And who pays the taxes? This is the situation we live in America. You pay taxes to the police. The police arrest you, collect fines, so the rich people who never pay taxes will never pay
never go to jail.
The police. They will never pay the police's salaries because they don't pay taxes, because you're paying their salaries, because you pay taxes, and you pay fines, because rich people do not pay fines. They pay the lawyer that they have on retainer.
You become a slave in a
get them out
for-profit prison somewhere.
The police only exist to tax poor people. That's the only reason they exist. They collect fines. It's their only function in society. If they can't arrest you or beat you up, they will be taking money from you in some way. So I am not opposed to the police existing. I just think they're unnecessary in most cases for almost all domestic problems. They don't need them for anything. All they do is arrest people and shoot people. That's all they do. Believe it or not, they don't solve a problem. They create maybe 5 other problems for you. Don't call the police to solve your problems. Unless somebody's immediately trying to kill you, they're not going to help. They're just going to arrest somebody or shoot somebody. It probably didn't even do anything. They'll shoot your dog. Dog tried to attack me. I shot the dog. Okay, I called the cops. He shot my dog. No problem was solved. He shot my dog. Okay, Anyway, that's my diatribe. But police, I go on to the next story.
All right, next story.
I got off the subject. Here's another sad story that could have been a lot worse. JapanToday.com has a story. It just says Tokyo on the byline. So there you go, Tokyo. The whole city is responsible for this story. They all got together and wrote this. 7-year-old boy left behind on Mount Fuji by his dad. This summer, I hiked Mount Fuji with my dad. Sounds like a pretty cool opening to Kids How I Spent My Summer Vacation essay. The composition gets less heartwarming, though, if it concludes with, and then I got to meet some policemen after he abandoned me on the side of the tallest mountain in Japan. And yet that's exactly what happened to a 7-year-old boy from Nagoya on Thursday, early that morning. This would be last Thursday, or maybe the Thursday before that. Yeah, it's probably the Thursday before that. Early that morning, the boy, his 48-year-old father, and his older brother, a first-year junior high school student, about 12 or 13, had started their hike up the Fuji Nomiya Trail. At somewhere around the trail's 6 of 10 stations on their way to the summit, the younger child became fussy, complaining that he was tired. At this point, the obvious options would be either to offer some words of encouragement to the tuckered out tyke. Okay, then. Practicing his alliteration in the middle of a paragraph. Take a break so he could rest and recover his stamina, or perhaps simply accept that it's taking a 7-year-old on an attempt to summit Mount Fuji was a flawed plan from the start, and so head home. Instead, the father decided to tell his younger son, wait here, after which he and the older boy continued hiking towards the top of the mountain. Wait here, huh? Maybe carry him a little bit? He's only 7. Can't weigh that much unless he's one of them little porkers.
This is just abandonment, man. That's what this is. There's no way.
I don't give a fuck about you, kid. I'm taking the kid I like. I don't know. It's not this summit that was just a hop skipping a jump away from where the dad abandoned his flesh and blood either. According to the Mount Fuji climbing official website, it takes a little over 5 hours to hike from Fujimura Trail's 6th station to its peak, and slightly more than 2.5 hours to walk back down. It's 7.5 hours. We'll be back in 7.5 hours, kids. Stay here. That means the dad was counting on a 7-year-old to sit tight and keep himself safe on a mountain for at least 7.5 hours, and likely longer once you factor in any time spent by the dad and older brother on rest breaks, taking photos, and admiring the view at summit. Wow. Thankfully, the younger kid didn't end up having to do that.
I guess we know who the favorite son is.
Yeah, we know his dad's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah,
and thankfully, the younger kid didn't even end up having to do that. At around 7:40 in the morning, a worker at the mountain hut near the 6th station spotted the unattended boy sitting by himself on a bench. The worker invited the boy inside the hut and let him take shelter there while the police were contacted. Once officers arrived, they were able to determine the father's identity, get in contact with him, at which time he was near the trail's 8th station, and told him to come back and get his kid. Well, good, the guy had a phone on him. It's not clear exactly how long the boy was left unattended for, but once again, going by the, well, maybe he didn't. No, maybe he didn't have a phone. Maybe he just called the ranger out at station number 8, right?
Yeah, that could also have worked, yeah.
Once again, going by the Mount Fuji climbing.
A guy who looks like this and is wearing this
shirt.
Well,
they know his name. They know his name.
Yeah,
the kid was there. Yeah. Official website is roughly 3-hour hike from the trail's 6th station to the 8th, meaning he likely abandoned his son sometimes around 4:30. So about 3 hours of sitting there going.
I'm glad we all agree that he definitely abandoned his son.
My daddy loves me, leaves me alone. Thankfully, the boy was unarmed and was safely reunited with his father. However, the mountain hut worker found the boy when the mountain hut worker found the boy, rain was falling and fog was starting to gather. It is not known what the weather was like when the father left his son behind, but conditions can rapidly on any mountain. The weather changes by the minute. Don't forget that. Clouds hit and they just dump rain on you. Even if it means having to give up on climbing a mountain together, leaving a child behind is unacceptable. Officers told the father, who at least seems remorseful, saying, "I made a rash decision and I deeply regret it." Following an incident, the police are calling on hikers conscious dangers of leaving a member of third party reminding those taking the trails they should tailor their pace for the people you're taking with you. Little common sense, moron. He was not arrested, which in the United States, he would have been arrested, shamed publicly, and then everybody would know his kid's name because they would have shamed him publicly because we're idiots.
Yeah.
And we want to shame the kid. We want to shame the dad for sure, but you're shaming the kid at the same time because, oh yeah, you're dead. Well, not today, but the internet's forever. The internet's forever. Don't forget that. All right, so let's have us what the hell? I forget what you spin here. Hypothetical or something?
Associate. I associate this with, I kind of talked this already on before the show. Being left, or thinking you got abandoned in the grocery store by your mom or whatever. Right? That's what I associate this with. And I think it's insane that kid seemed to be so calm. Maybe it happens to him a lot, Maybe he gets abandoned by his dad all the time. Where his dad's just like, "Stay here, I'll be right back," and then he just doesn't come back for 3 hours. Like, how was he not going, "Oh, I miss my dad, I'm lost, I thought he was good."
Does separation anxiety. Does Japan not have predators? Because according to all the anime I've seen, it's loaded with predators.
There's a lot of hentai, yeah.
Right, yeah. It's just nothing but predators. Hey,
there definitely happens a lot of anime. Hello.
Bunch of weirdos in Japan. Just judging by their cartoon.
How are you doing today?
Just judging by their cartoonists, what a bunch of weirdos. So, luckily for him, no cartoonists happened along. Because those guys are weird.
Luckily, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
It's like, I guess the mangaka make weird characters. Right, let's roll our next segue. Oh, bless you.
No. Right. Go with a cough, I think. Associate, I know. Damn pen, don't write again. I hate this. I will find the pen that
now
writes.
You get to do an associate. The show will be over. Oh, my story. All right. This is for
I sent you a video, by the way.
Thank you. This is for our culture news. We've got We're going to talk about the thing that people have been talking about since, I think, like the 10th of August, the Twitch AI opt-in, the automatic opt-in that everyone is currently suffering from, that I think is, we only know about it because people passed regulations that said, hey, you have to tell people you are using their data for AI. And then they said, oh shit, we don't want to get sued. We better release that. Hey, by the way, 6 months ago, we started feeding all of our Twitch streamers to AI system, and surprise! What else did you discover? What's the tangent now?
It's part of my associate. Finish the story.
We'll talk about it after. Okay, we'll finish it. But this isn't about that. This is about the creator of Amazon suing. The creator of Twitch suing Amazon for this AI opt-in. This is from Andrea Gabriel Prado on IB Times. A Twitch creator has filed a federal class action lawsuit against Amazon and Twitch, accusing them of using streamers' content to train Amazon's generative AI models after automatically opting creators in through a default setting. The case challenges whether Twitch can rely on an opt-out control to permit AI training on streams, chats, and other channel material without creators' explicit permission. Warren Pandisia filed a proposal class action in the U.S. District Court of Northern District of California on the 20th of August. It's filed under number 3:26-CV-08721, naming Twitch Interactive and Amazon.com as defendants. The case is listed as a breach of contract action and also seek to challenge the company's alleged use of creator material for AI training. Reminder that Warren Pandisia, who started Twitch, probably, sold Twitch to Amazon under a certain contract, and something in his contract maybe said, hey, you're not going to do this, and then they said, yeah, actually we are going to do this. And he probably can afford. He can actually probably afford to sue Amazon and Twitch because he got paid by them when he sold Twitch. So the lawsuit arrives just days after Twitch disclosed the channel content could be used to train Amazon's generative AI models. The platform setting allowed creators to opt out, but the training control is enabled by default. Twitch says eligible material can include streams, VODs, clips, stream chats, and pictures and text on a channel. So that's right, even your chat messages now, well, not on our channel because we opted out, but on other people's channels, even your text that you send in chat is being used to train an AI model. The default setting is central to the dispute. Under Twitch's systems, creators must actively switch off the training setting if they do not want their channel content used for future training of Amazon models. Twitch's own support material says opting out prevents streams, VODs, clips, chats, and channel material from being used in future training of Amazon models designed to generate or synthesize text, audio, images, or video. The company has also stressed that this control is specifically about generative AI training and does not eliminate every other AI or machine learning use of Twitch data. The choice to make the system opt out rather than opt in has drawn the most criticism. During a Twitch live stream addressing users' concern, Chief Product Officer Mike Minton, who asked why creators are not simply asked to volunteer their content, he answered it was, if this was an opt in, nobody would opt in. Well, there's your clarifying sign there, Mike. Maybe you shouldn't be doing it at all. That system has become a key part of the controversy because it highlights the disagreement behind the setting, whether creators should have to take action to prevent their content entering Amazon's AI training pipeline, rather than having to take action to authorize it. Pandisia's complaint goes further than objecting to the default setting. It alleges that Twitch and Amazon use creators' content without the contractual permission, consent, or compensation that the plaintiff says is required. Yeah. If you're gonna pay me 2 cents to stream on you should need to pay me more. I'm giving you free training material. At least pay me 50 cents. The complaint also alleges the company uses live broadcasts, images, and recorded videos to train Amazon's generative AI models. The contractual question is important because Twitch changed its term of services and related privacy language when it introduced the AI training setting. The plaintiff's lawyers argue that the changes are relevant to whether Twitch's earlier contractual terms already authorized disputed use. When did you start using AI? When did you start using the data on Twitch to start training AI? And did you indicate that in the TOS? Because if you didn't, you broke contract because you didn't ask for permission. Contemporary reporting of the complaint says that lawsuit inserts theories including breach of express and implied contract, unjust enrichment, and unfair business practices. That does not mean a court has determined that Twitch's earlier terms were insufficient. The legal issue remains contested, nor does the automatic setting itself establish that creators legally failed to consent. Twitch's position is that creators have a mechanism to opt out, while the lawsuit challenges whether the framework and the underlying contractual rights are sufficient for particular commercial AI use at issue. The case raises a specific question about the boundary between a broad platform license and a particular downstream commercial use of creator content, and whether an automatically enabled opt-out mechanism can resolve that question. There is also a practical issue. Twitch says that if someone chats or another creator stream, the channel's owner's opt-out preferences govern whether the chat can be used for training. So if I opt out of my channel being used in the AI training, if I go into somebody's chat and they haven't opted out, my chats in their chat is still being used to train AI models, even though I personally have opted out on any of my data being, right? It's like a loophole. It's a loophole. For creators, the dispute involves questions about who can authorize the use of material involving multiple people, how far platform licenses extend, and whether a creator's silence can carry the same weight as an affirmative choice. The court has yet to decide those questions. Pre-trial motions are expected in coming months, with a decision on the class certification likely in early 2027. So we probably won't hear about what they're doing about this until next year in February or March or something.
A class action lawsuit.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if they're letting people join, but
hey, that's why. No, they have to. You cannot file a class action lawsuit unless you try to attempt to contact everybody in a class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
But that's my culture story on the weird and wackiness of, hey, we're gonna use all your data in our own discretion and not tell you about it because we're a piece of shit company. Just that's just companies in general. Corporations be like, go ahead, sorry.
Like what?
No, that's the meme. Corporations be like,
I have an Amazon Fire dealie here, and I play Words with Friends, and every time I spell a word, I get a free pop-up ad from Amazon, right?
Woohoo!
And I discovered that these free pop-up ads, even if you just like, oh, let me close that or whatever, if you just touch part of the screen, you can accidentally put that object being advertised on your Amazon Fire. It goes directly into your Amazon shopping cart. Directly in it, I've discovered, yes. I bought some detergents, some Tide Pods the other day. No idea I was buying Tide Pods and buy them, but they ended up in my shopping cart. A Tide Pods commercial came up in my Amazon Fire.
Wow.
I was scrolling, I accidentally hit something, and I said, did that just say I purchased it? Anyway, I closed the screen. Like a couple hours later, I started wondering about it. Let me check my Amazon. And there it was, Tide Pods. I bought some Tide Pods. Wasn't even aware of it. So Amazon's doing that to me. So
that's great, man.
Just trying to close an ad, and I accidentally bought something. So Amazon, this is their device. It's a shopping scam.
It's supposed to be for reading, right? And why am I buying stuff on it?
Oh, it's for everything. No, it's an iPad. It's just like every other. It's what it's for. It's a computer. It's a computer for computer stuff. All computers do.
Oh my God!
Did we have another story?
This day in history.
Day in history. This day in history. Okay,
last
let's
segue wheel or spin.
You got a video. So on this day in history. Oh boy, we got to go down.
I'm just going to give you a sarcasm because the wheel is repetitive today.
Sarcasm. We haven't done sarcasm yet.
Yeah,
we haven't done sarcasm. Oh, that's not repetitive. We'll get it the first thing tomorrow. Because the wheel, maybe just relabel everything around. 1071 on this day, Seljuk Turk forces under Alp Arslan vanquished the Byzantine army and captured Emperor Romanus IV. Diogenes at the Battle of Manzikert. This was 1071. I'm guessing this is the start of the Ottoman Empire. I'm not exactly sure, but this happened in Turkey,
Or the
I believe.
end, because Turkey didn't exist.
Well, no, it was
until
the end,
after the
it was the
Ottoman
end
Empire.
of it was the end of the Byzantine Empire.
Okay.
1346, during the 100 Years' War, which again, if you're drafted into the 100 Years' War, good luck. Oh, Jesus. It's only year 70. During the 100 Years' War, the English, led by Edward III, defeated the French at the Battle of Crécy, and that really settled absolutely nothing. But there you go. That happened. 1346. 1883, one of your biggest volcanic explosions in recorded history happened. The volcano at Krakatoa in Indonesia began to erupt, and 36,000 people were killed by the eruption, resulting tsunami. Major thing. It was heard from hundreds of miles away. 1914, during World War I, the Battle of Tannenberg began between the Germans, talking about things that didn't accomplish a damn thing. Fought between the Germans and the Russians. Several days later, the German forces led by Paul von Hindenburg and Erich Ludendorff handed Russia a crushing defeat. Oh, okay. Well, like I said, it accomplished nothing but make the Russian aristocracy weaker, I guess. And then the Bolsheviks came in. 1820, the 19th Amendment became part of the Constitution of the United States, giving women the right to vote. Don't forget to exercise your right to vote, because they're going to take it away from you pretty damn soon. 1936, the Anglo-Egyptian Treaty established Egypt as a sovereign state after 50 years of British occupation. Well, thanks a lot, British. Wasn't Egypt a sovereign state like way back? And now England is like, hey, we control you now. Until 1936. 1975, Haile Selassie died at the age of 83, possibly assassinated. He was the mainstream as a leader of, he was the emperor, I guess you want to call him, of Ethiopia. He steered his country to mainstream African politics after World War II and oversaw the entrance of the League of Nations, the United Nations. And of course, the Messiah, according to Rastafarianism, is Haile Selassie. Amazing, right? 1978, albino cardinal, it says albino, he doesn't look albino, but anyway, albino Cardinal Luciani was elected to John Paul I, but died of a heart attack 33 days later. Yeah, we had one John Paul. The second guy's like, oh, let me take John Paul too. That'll be my name too, because I have no originality in my blood. John Paul II should have called himself John Paul George, and then the next pope could have been John Paul George and Ringo. Totally blew it. 2015, American civil rights activist Amelia Boynton Robinson died at the age of 104. That's a ripe old age for a civil rights activist. And an organizer of the Selma March in 1965, which was a landmark event in civil rights movement that led directly to the Voting Rights Act. She got to be 104. She marched in 1965 and she died 50 years later. Or is that 60? No, 50 years later. So 50 years later, so she was 54 when she marched. That's not exactly a spring chicken. 2018, American playwright and screamer Neil Simon. He died at the age of 91 on this day. He wrote American classics for the stage and Broadway that became movies, things like The Odd Couple, Biloxi Blues, and things like that. Neil Simon. Got to be 91, which is pretty nice, ripe old age. Joan of Arc arrived in the outskirts of Paris on this day in 1429 in preparation for an attack on Paris, part of the Charles VII's campaign to drive English from French soil. Joan of Arc and her soldiers reached the city's outskirts on this day in 1429, but the assault ultimately failed. Joan of Arc was blamed for every defeat ever, even though she was actually a war hero for the French, was turned over to the English so they could burn her at the stake, which is, what the hell? Anyway, weird goddamn people. I'm telling you, people in the past are just fucking weird. And by the way, war, what is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
That's right.
Say it again.
1856 team. I say it again. War, ain't nothing but a heartbreaker. 1856, teenager invents purple. I bet you didn't know this. On this date, 1856, sorry. An 18-year-old chemist, William Henry Perkin, patented the world's first synthetic dye. He discovered the brilliant purple substance accidentally by trying to make quinine, a malaria treatment. Dubbed mauvine, the dye made fashionable purple clothing far more affordable, sparked a mauve mania, and helped launch the modern synthetic dye and chemical industries. Holy shit, I did not know any of this.
Yeah,
So
originally purple dye was only for not anemones, the other
royals
things.
It was hard to make, so royals wore it. And Prince,
Yeah.
thanks you all. Prince, thanks you all for making purple affordable.
Sea urchins. That's where purple originally comes from, I think.
Yeah, she had the murderous sea creature minding his own business previous to this. So that put a stop to that, hopefully. Our birthdays today, other birthdays today. Do we have any other birthdays? I guess we don't. Let's see. It is Antoine Laurent Lavoisier, born on this day in 1744. This guy was prominent French chemist, leading figure. 18th century chemical revolution developed experimentally based theory of chemical reactivity and oxygen. I bet you there was more famous people born in this day than that. Let's see.
More famous.
The actor, TV personality Kiki Palmer turned 33.
Ooh, love Kiki. She's the best. Now that's somebody who's always happy.
James Harden, the guy with the gigantic beard, is turning 37. NBA player. I think he was just traded again to like his 15th team or something. The guy can't win. He just scores a lot of points, never wins anything in the playoffs, and he's got a big old beard. Won MVP one year. Actor, musician Evan Ross, age 38, turned 38 today. Comedian actor John Mulaney turning 44. Actor Chris Pine turning 46. Actor Chris Pine turning 46. Macaulay Culkin, who is still home alone, but that's okay because he's 46 today. That's okay if you leave him home alone.
He
No, just
married,
don't leave his...
Paris from Sweet Life and Zack and Cody. He married
Oh, is that right? And again, a coincidence that the Home Alone kid's birthday is on the same day we're talking about the 7-year-old kid being left on a mountain alone.
Yeah, it's
After
crazy.
Mike Coulter turning
coincidental.
50. There's somebody's foot. That's mad. A picture of a foot. Melissa McCarthy, actress Melissa McCarthy, Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Great. That's very funny. Turning 56 today. Here's a good one. Shirley Manson of Garbage. She's turning 60. So one of your best punk bands from the 80s and 90s. Garbage. She's turning 60. Musician Branford Marsalis turning 66. Crossword editor Will Shorts turning 74. I just wanted to say, crossword editor is a job. I want that job.
I used to
TV
be.
journalist Bill Whitaker
Now
turning
AI
75. Oh yeah, Will Shorts still doing it, man. He's still around. I'm sure he still does it. Voice actor Don LaFontaine is turning, was born in 1940. He's not turning anything. He's not around anymore. Leon Redbone, not the Redbone the band, but Leon Redbone, a distinctive Louisiana voice, born in 1949. And mathematician Katherine Johnson, born in 1918. Mother Teresa was born in 1910. Albert, the Prince of Victoria's husband. Queen Victoria's husband, Albert, was born on this day in 1819. And the first Prime Minister of Britain. Did you know who the first Prime Minister of Great Britain was? The very first Prime Minister when they decided...
Probably a lord, right?
Oh, of course. And he also has an activity named after him. Robert Walpole. That's right, Walpole. Reading...
What came first, Robert Walpole or Walpole became for Robert?
Anyway, it's his birthday today, so That's it for today. National Day today. It's National Women's Equality Day. That's again, you got the right to vote today. Don't forget that. National Dog Day. It's every dog has this day. This day is your dog day. It's the dog days of August. Don't forget that. That's what they call them. The dog days because it's hot and humid and you're just all sticky and you're just like, when is this sun going away? Anyway, dog days of August. National Web Mistress Day. I don't know if that's your mistress that you only talk to on the internet, or it's just shouting out the females that are in the profession of being an internet nerd. National Gut Check Day, and I'm pretty sure that's
you mean like
about
webmaster, web mistress? Oh, you mean like that?
Yeah,
okay.
Web Mistress. Yeah, they're giving it a gender twist. National Gut Check Day, and I'm pretty sure that's about your breastises. Get them checked. Check them yourself. Everybody's got breastises. National Cherry Popsicle Day. You can get cancer from anything. You can get cancer from the part in your hair.
Well, men can't get cervix cancer usually, so they're safe from that one.
And women can get testicular cancer. National Cherry Popsicle Day. I got me some popsicles.
Nice.
I got 4 bags.
Turn that tongue red.
I got 4 bags of freezer pops, and I guarantee some of them are cherry.
So tomorrow you're gonna come back with red lips, red tongue, entire red mouth.
No. No, I won't do that because there's other flavors. It'll probably be blue if anything.
Yeah,
blue or green. All of those flavors stain your tongue. They all do. It doesn't matter which one it is. It's temporary. I'm sure it's poisonous. It's going to give me cancer, so I'll have to get myself checked. And those are all your things for today. Your mispronunciations. We had no haikus. We had some alliterations. We haven't had no limericks today, but a lot of short stuff we had to do. A lot of weirdness for, Wednesday, August 26th on before cherry popsicles. Well, I guess it was just cherry popsicles, huh? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Cherry popsicle.
That's your dinner today.
So you get. And check yourself. Literally, check yourself. And I got your video.
I can confirm Web Mistress is for female webmasters.
Yes.
So that person running
Not
the
for
website.
Jed York. Not for Jed York, the owner of the 49ers, to hook up. It's an actual job. Sorry.
Yeah, the designer, developer, and marketer and maintainer of websites who happens to be a woman. So I'm so glad that we get these special little titles for ourselves because we are women. That was my sarcasm.
Right. Right. But we also wanted to celebrate the fact that there's women doing this job, which is, they don't get recognized. It's kind of like this is the other thing is like when they talk about the Epstein files, they never talk about the little boys getting molested, and it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you're right. There's always talking about the poor women being trafficked, which is not a competition. Like, you can talk about both.
It's not a competition, but it seems like they only talk about girls. And it's there was boys molested too, and a lot of these guys are gay, like Peter Thiel is gay. I don't think he's interested in little girls.
Okay.
I don't think he's interested in little boys either.
Right.
But he's in the Epstein files. He's in the Epstein files. I'm sorry, Peter Thiel, after Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and charged, got interested in him for some reason. Not before then. Huh. Anyway, that's all I'm saying.
Anyways, that tangent
what
aside.
Is he into? What is he into? It's not girls.
I don't really care. I just want to end the show.
I don't care. I'll slander Peter. Sue me, Peter Thiel. Sue me. Come back to the United States and sue me. I'd love to see the discovery on this. Wouldn't you? I would. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
There's no International UN observance today. This has been Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the US, as we finish up another Wacky and Weird Wednesday, in which we hopefully made you completely mesmerized by the reality we live in. We'll be back tomorrow for Thursday's 13, in which we'll be covering our Thursday's 13 list, which I don't know if we've come up with one yet. So if you haven't, it'll be a surprise for both of us. Thank you everyone who was here today. And if you're not already, please follow Before Coffee Podcast on Twitch and YouTube, because the more that number goes up, the more people will learn about our show and our anti-AI news, because we are real people sharing our bad opinions about the news. And we're not making this shit up. We find real stories from real places. We're not just, hey, what if this happened? No, these things are actually happening. So,
none of this is clickbait. None of it's rage bait. None of it's rage bait. None of it's getting you all excited and we just talk.
We're not saying stuff
different.
To get people angry on purpose. That's for sure. These are actually just our actual opinions. Whether they make you angry is not about our fault.
If you have any intellect at all, if you have any intellect at all, this is a show for you. There's other shows for people with intellect, but this is one of the ones where you got to have a brain. You got to meet us halfway. All right, it ain't for everybody.
We will thank you all Before Coffee supporters on Patreon who are keeping the show going. And here is our sad mic drop moment.
You know why I'm so kind of blown away by your career? It's not only the music, it's like the film industry. You know, I think like 9 to 5.
She spread a lot of positive energy in the world.
And I'm sure you know the story of how I memorized the whole script like it was a play. I didn't know. But I was,
you know, somebody that didn't like Dolly, there's something wrong with
I was way ahead of the game. I had been offered movies
definitely
before that, but I didn't want to do it. And then when Jane came to me with that idea, I thought,
she's always
Jane Fonda's
more
a really
of
big star, and so was Lily.
She's an artist,
thought,
not a.
If it's a hit,
stage
then I can
artist,
just
not a
bask in the glory with them. And if it's a failure, I can just blame it on them.
That was her first movie. I don't know if she's made
Did you hold off doing movies?
She's
because
been in a
you
lot
said,
of
look,
things.
I've got a great singing career.
She's been in,
I've
I think,
got lots of
Muppets. She
goodwill
was
out there.
with Muppets.
If I'm in some crap movie, I'll be a laughing stock. So there's some fear in it, right? They're holding you back?
No, it wasn't even that. I just wasn't interested at that time because nothing good enough had come along to make me think that I would be willing to give up my music and my touring and all that.
9 to 5 is a very
Jane
good
just said,
movie,
"You just be yourself," and then
comedy.
you really got to know is where your marks are, hit your lights, hit your marks, and all that. So it wasn't hard to be myself.
I mean, to be fair, you probably do that kind of stuff on stage as a.
That I didn't have to act.
As a singer anyways, right? I need to go walk over here during this part of the show.
And I got to write the theme song for it. And
I don't think Lily Tomlin made any
movies
before that
for that, as well as the movie being such a big hit. And that thing just lives on and on. I eventually later went on and wrote a musical, a Broadway musical.
Yeah, but I thought she was great in the thing she
That was some theme song.
Right, so was Steve Martin, but he's a comedian.
Patchy Dan, too.
I'm saying they're good.
Robin Williams is a comedian, not actor.
You know that
I think they're good actors.
With my nails, like
yeah. I was going to ask you about
that. And the stuff
how do you do that?
I did
so,
comedians make good actors.
You know, like you're sitting in your, I don't know where were you sitting
actor.
in waiting around on a movie set?
I was so starstruck. Being, just watching how a movie is made, even if I wasn't in the scene, I was
that's how I felt when I first was on my first set. So
I would just be watching what the other girls were doing, what the scenes were, and I would just be thinking, like working.
Rewiring your brain.
And I would watch whatever was going on.
Watching other people do other things.
Because I
learning
couldn't get a guitar
new skill
out on the set. So I was
just she's wired
you gotta have
for
acrylic nails
creativity.
to make that real percussive sound.
They don't
But I was just
accept the way things are. They don't accept the way things are.
Yeah.
No. We can do this better.
All right, we'll make 9:25 Dolly Parton Day. Omlin has decreed 9:25 is Dolly Parton
and
Day.
get my guitar out.
She just scratched the beat for 9 to 5 on her finger.
I wrote it
acrylic,
a week.
Yes.
I don't know.
The whole song before I actually sat down and then just assembled it and put it all
she's
together.
a talented musician
to
be able to play
those
those
nails. I actually
nails.
played my nails
those
on
fake nails,
on the thing. I was working.
There's a famous clip of her doing that with, I can't remember, another person.
The 95 song. And he's now going to be
a female singer, but I can't remember her name right now.
Music I'm going to be doing.
It's probably a trio.
A black
so
woman.
So life just kind of goes around it 40 years.
She played guitar. I mean, she's playing guitar. That's all she,
and now
there's no video.
I'm going to actually be working with him again. But
I'm talking about the acrylic and nail thing. There's like a clip on a talk show where she does that with another.
So let's just use
it was an Oprah.
To actually start the.
It might have been on Oprah, but I don't think it was with Oprah.
And so he said,
there
when
are
we
finger
got
pricks,
ready to record it,
finger pricks.
He said, let's just put you on the Nails by Dolly.
I've always played the guitar with my fingernails.
I only finger pick. I don't. My nails are nice and hard too.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons.
and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.
Oh, we're back. My dad just asked, what did you do to be proud of, Nico, during the break? What did you do? That's also what I said. I'm like, he's gonna ask you, what do you do to be proud of? And I predicted your exact reaction.
Pride cometh before the fall.
He might be getting a new position in October, hopefully. That is better than his current position. Yeah.
What position are you in now?
Oh, he can't tell us. It's a government secret. He's a spy.
Oh, you're talking about a job. You said a position.
Yeah,
a new position. You're laying on the floor.
I think he's still working for the...
I'm going to get a new position.
Yeah,
my position will be sitting on the toilet.
He's going from Cobra pose to Savasana. He's doing a new yoga position.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Cobra pose is a good pose. Stretches everything.
Well, congratulations.
Hopefully, yeah, in October is the plan.
Although a lot of times a new position just means more responsibility, and you get blamed for more stuff and no extra pay, any more longer hours.
It sounds like it's gonna end up being like a work from home kind of position. So I think that's always a win. Working from home. Oh, Lily Tomlin. Okay. So it wasn't Lily's first acting gig, but I wouldn't consider SNL and Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In an acting gig.
No, that's not acting.
Yeah.
That's not acting.
Yeah,
Being
so
9
to 5 was Lily Tomlin's first acting gig, where she was not just a comedian; she was actually.
If you don't know the plot of the movie, these 3 women kidnap their boss because he's a fucking piece of shit, and it's played by Dabney Coleman, and he's just a sexual predator, and they just hate him. So it's a good movie. 9 to 5 is a really good movie. It's like Dolly's first movie. It's Lily Tomlin's real first movie. I don't think Dolly made another movie, or she,
I'm sure we could look it up real quick. Or IMDb.
I say I was proud. I just don't know. I just don't know. Like I said, it's really hard to be proud of anybody you didn't raise. Because,
okay. So if you were his son, he would be proud of you more.
Yeah, your children and your grandchildren are a source of pride. In fact, pride is what you call a bunch of lions, right? That's a family of lions, right? So it's a family thing. So pride is kind of dicey, kind of word. It's more of like,
it's harder to be proud of a stranger, really.
I appreciate the fact that you're not settling for the crap that they're giving you, hopefully, right? Just, again,
that's what he said. He's going to a different department with different people who will appreciate him more. So,
well, you hope.
Yeah.
Don't forget the Peter principle.
I think he's been working with them already, but now he's going to officially transfer to that department, I think is what's happening.
If you're familiar with the Peter principle says that everybody in any organization will rise to the level of their incompetence. In other words, you will get promoted until you can no longer do a job well, and you won't get promoted. You'll stay at that level. However, corporations and companies do this on purpose because they want you to fail, and they want to get rid of you because you make too much money. So they'll promote you to a job you can't do so they can fire you. They will do that. It's the Peter principle in reverse. But yeah, it's the same thing.
I'll get the adoption papers.
Be careful of the Peter principle in reverse. They might be promoting you to a job you can't do, which is what they did to me. They took away my radio job. They put me on this video downlink garbage. I hated. I didn't want to deal with it. I hated the company that I had to deal with. They were terrible. They put me on this stuff, and I began to immediately hate my job. They were trying to make me quit. And I was trying to quit, but I had to have something lined up first, right? You don't just quit a job, But anyway, unless you're...
All right, so Dolly Parton was in Captain Kangaroo before, one episode.
Herself.
Yeah.
That's herself.
9 to 5.
She was on every episode of Porter Wagner, too, but she played herself.
The best little whorehouse in Texas.
With Burt Reynolds, that was her second movie, right? Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Burt Reynolds.
There's a lot of things she's been in that are just Dolly Parton and blah, blah, blah. So I skip all those. She was in Alvin and the Chipmunks as a voice. So that's playing yourself.
That's her.
Rhinestone. She played somebody in Rhinestone.
Oh, it was Sylvester Stallone. Wow, she made some really bad movies. Rhinestone was terrible. Oh, yeah, I remember that now. That's why I forgot it. It was terrible.
She was
Sylvester
in a Smoky
Stallone.
Mountain Christmas, which just sounds like a
Yeah,
sorry.
That's her. That's just her playing herself. Rhinestone picture. I'm pretty sure Sylvester Stallone sings in that movie. Yeah.
It got a 4.1 on IMDb. Yeah, so it's not very highly scored.
That's
Rhinestone.
I
know. And in Smoky Mountain Christmas, she played somebody called Lorna Davis, so she didn't play herself, or at least she's not credited as Dolly Parton.
Yeah, she played Dolly Parton as Lorna Davis. That's what she played. I'm sure she had the same accent and everything. Anyway, we love Dolly Parton. If you don't love Dolly Parton, get yourself checked.
Steel Mongolias, which Amelin just mentioned. Steel Mongolias is another film she was in.
Get yourself checked if you don't like Dolly. Get yourself checked. You might be psychopath. You're probably capable of just
watch all these movies if you want to, and watch all her music videos. Straight Talk, she played Shirley. Wild Texas Wind, she played Thola Big T Rayfield. What else do we have here? Yeah, she's in a lot of TV stuff, but it's just like a TV special from her, right? Like a Dolly Parton TV special. Heavens to Betsy, she was in 6 episodes, and she was Betsy Baxter.
Okay. So there you are. Luminous acting. You don't have to do Lily Tomlin. I know Lily Tomlin was a lot of stuff with her, but I didn't know.
Blue Valley
I know about
Song, she's on a lot of Texas
about
stuff.
I know about Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, which was a play before it was a movie, so it already had a lot of buzz going into it. But Ryan's and plus they have Burt Reynolds, and it's like, let's match up Dolly with Burt Reynolds, yay!
And of course, the first time I saw Dolly Parton, she was in Hannah Montana as Aunt Dolly, which I think she just played herself in that too. But she was Hannah Montana's aunt.
I probably covered this yesterday, or not yesterday, but I know she was dead yesterday. Oh, by the way, a bunch of people died on October 24th or 25th. It's a pretty bad day for dying.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
well, I guess we'll know about that. Died. You mean August 25th, not October 25th?
August.
You said October, yeah. I was like, what?
Whatever month it is. My first experience with Dolly was her first television show was Porter Wagner show back in the 60s. So it would have been 67 or something. She would have been 21. She started on the Porter Wagner show, and she was a singer, songwriter, and I think Porter Wagner probably wanted to marry her at some point. I don't know. He's a lot older. Anywho, when she quit the show, she wrote that song that Whitney Houston covered. So that's when she wrote that song, and it was about Porter Wagner. But I first saw Dolly selling soap on the Porter Wagner show. My mom loved Dolly. She loved Dolly's accent. We had a Chihuahua named Dolly, but I don't think it was named after Dolly Parton. It was probably named after Hello Dolly, the movie or something. I don't know what it's named after, but I think
being
Dolly
a doll-sized Chihuahua dog, because Chihuahuas are pretty small.
Little tiny.
Yeah,
and
little
babies
doll.
are really small.
Who's a little Dolly?
Dolly. Yeah, but Dolly, she sold boxes of Breeze detergent between songs on the Porter Wagner show, and it was just a music show. They would have commercials by the host, and so Porter Wagner or Dolly Parton would be selling soap. It was usually Dolly, because you buy anything from Dolly. Breeze had these gigantic boxes of detergent, but the reason they were gigantic is because it came with full-size bath towels.
Oh yeah,
and,
I remember seeing something about that.
If you bought a box of Breeze, it came with a bath towel. So people were just buying Breeze in these huge boxes, and most of it's just bath towels. So we had so many bath towels that came out of boxes of soap. That's where we got all of our towels. We got all of our towels from boxes of soap. I'm not lying. And all because of Dolly Parton. You can't buy them. You can't buy it. She would say, these are the beautifulest towels in the world. You can't buy them. You can only get them in boxes of Breeze. She would say. I still remember it to this day. You can't buy them. And my mom would say, I love the way she talks. I love Dolly Parton. I love the way she talks. Anyway. All right. That's all I got for today. It's time for me to change positions.
All right. Sounds good.
Tomorrow's
also,
another
hello,
list.
Azucena. Thank you for stopping by with, we spent 500 acorns a day with your Bob Dylan's Acorn. Bob Dylan's Acorn. Azucena sold Bob Dylan's Acorn.
I didn't do any Bob Dylans today, did I? Well, we'll get a new Bob Dylan.
But now we have a reference from the Acorn.
All right. Well, see you tomorrow.
All right.
I think I got a list, but it's not finished, so I won't say it yet. I guess this will write it. All right. See you tomorrow. Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Bye-bye. All right, let's check those bingo boards, everyone, and see if anybody's a winner. Just making sure I'm covering all the things because I don't want to miss anything. I think I got everything that was mentioned. I didn't really go on a tangent today, so I'm not gonna do that one. Oh, I just saw this happen. All right, let's check those bingo. Oh, I was so close. What a shame. So close. One off. That always tends to happen, doesn't it? Let me see. Here. Yep, another one off. Unfortunately, I did not mention my master's degree today, so that did not come up. Too bad. Alright, well, thank you everyone for being here today, and of course, tomorrow we'll be back. Yeah, I'm sorry. I really just was completely on topic today. Oh, right. Yeah, yet again, another almost 3-hour episode. Yes, I will see you guys later on Essence Alley for yoga and Guild Wars Wednesday. So, we're continuing the Eye of the North expansion in Guild Wars 1. He didn't say anything. He just went like this. What did he do? That's all he said. What has he done? That's all you missed. Are you proud of me? What has he done? Yeah, nothing. Has he done something to be proud of? Anyways, let's do this.
The chair declares the House in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
We can see all the lovely people that were here today. Thank you to all those people who stopped by and chat. And also our followers today. And of course our subscribers, our honorary baristas. And our Before Coffee supporters. Thank you everyone for being here and supporting the channel. We're gonna go raid Azucena and do some work together stuff because I'm also about to just edit for this whole section before my own stream, so it's a nice little hanger-outer over there. There's the raid message. Hopefully it's sent. Yes. You can go ahead and copy that, and I'll see you over there. And take care of yourselves. See you later. So I've copied the raid message.